Well, it says I am alive, so I guess I'm alive and I'm live. What's up, guys? I see Constitutional came in here. He's got himself a nickel stacking and OTG, I believe, stream coming up in about an hour. What else? You stock up on your pantry, man. Stock up for two families. Back in the Great Depression, 3 out of 4 families had jobs. Okay, so if we were all kind, helpful, and grateful, the 3 families that had jobs could have easily supported the one family that didn't have a job for their food. What's up, Chad? Wolfenstein, Wolf Sledgensteinhausenbergerdorf. So, if those 3 families that had jobs were kind, helpful, and grateful, they could have provided food for the one family that didn't, and we wouldn't have had a problem here in America. All I suggest is that we be good Americans and stock, after you stock for your own family, stock some extra for the people who are going to lose their jobs and need it. So that way we don't have a repeat. Because if everyone wants to make things better, it starts at home. It starts with you doing better. Do better for your friends. Do better for your family. Do better for everybody. Just be kind, helpful, and grateful. That's why I say these things. Because it makes for a better America. It makes for a better community. It makes for better communications and understanding. And that is actually where a lot of issues come up with, is understanding. People don't understand because they're not kind, helpful, and grateful. Be grateful what you have, so share. Be kind and sharing. And, this world could be a better place. We can't do it for the world, but we can do it for our communities. And if you do it for, hey, what's up, ATM? If you do it for enough communities, you've done it for America. And that's what's really going to make us great. That's what I think. And we have Ian here live at Niels Han Dynasty. One day I'm going to get a nice palace picture. So that way it looks like I have a palace instead of I'm on an alien world with my friend.
Castle. We need a castle.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So into castles.
Did you know in England you still need a license to crenellate from the crown?
Interesting.
So that the crenellations are the
yeah
at the top. Yeah.
I have some interesting news. I believe the statute of limitations has cleared me by now, but I went back to Scotland when my grandmother died about 18 years ago, and I didn't rent a car or anything. I actually, because England is such a small community, I got a half-price international flight into Manchester because Manchester was offering half-price flights for people, international travelers, because they needed up their numbers. So I said, heck, I'll fly into Manchester, take a train and go to Stirling, no problem. It's a beautiful countryside. So I saved like $450 by flying into Manchester. Anyhow, I go up to Stirling. I'm staying with my mom. My mom was there at the time. And there's really nothing to do up there. So I got myself a bicycle, started going around, and there was 13 castles of different sizes, shapes. A castle could be basically a homestead of a lord, just his house with a wall around it is considered a castle. So they were doing renovations on all these castles. And to this day, in my friend's house in Lower Alabama, I actually acquired the most internal part that I could get, 1 block of each of those 13 castles. And I have it at my friend's house in Alabama. One of those was the floor of the kitchen of Stirling Castle, for which I actually scaled, I believe it was the western wall. And I guess they were renovating, so they didn't have the cameras on. But I climbed over the wall, slid down along the outer wall, and it led down into the kitchen. And that's where they had all the lights on. And I saw these bricks labeled. So I grabbed one of the bricks that said 1446 kitchen floor. And I took that. Then I escaped out of the castle, so I kind of got some treasure of sorts from 13 different castles. Of course, I had to do it because I have Sutherland blood in me, and if we can, we do.
I don't think there's a statute of limitations in Scotland.
Yeah, well, I'm not going back then. Yeah, I forgot about that one. But thanks for mentioning it. It's too cold there for me anyhow. And I already got them, so they can come take them back if they want them.
Yeah,
But all the renovations are done. So
I got a roof tile off the Alhambra in Granada,
sweet.
Spain.
In Spain? Oh man.
There was a cordoned off area and they had like a dumpster.
Uh-huh.
They were putting all the ones they didn't want to use again in this dumpster, and I thought, what a waste.
No
I
crap.
thought, I'm having one of those.
Oh my God.
Could be 1,000 years old.
Yeah, very few people out there in the world appreciate that type of stuff. I guess you and I are both
We're pretty similar that way. Yeah.
I totally appreciate the stuff that they just trash, and like I said, it was under renovation, so most of the stuff would have been covered over with newer.
You've probably heard about the Elgin marbles, haven't you? That Britain took from Greece.
Yeah,
Lord Elgin, and at the time, the Greeks were grinding up the marble artifacts to make cement and concrete out of. So, I guess they probably should give them back, but
yeah.
But as long as they promise not to grind it up into cement.
Yeah, there should be conditions for sure.
Yeah,
no, there's a lot of artifacts. I heard in Egypt, they finally gave this one company permission to expand out and make the port larger, the seawall and whatnot. So they went out there to do some, studies on the, and this is like 9 years ago, studies on the seafloor, and they found more. I believe they found more of the Alexandrian lighthouse, supposedly largest lighthouse.
Really?
They found a few statues of, I believe, Cleopatra and a couple other Egyptian pharaohs up underneath the water. And
that was the Alexandria Lighthouse. That was one of the original 7 wonders of the world, wasn't it?
Yeah. An earthquake brought it down, but it was they found part of it when they were trying to expand the port, and of course that stopped all expansion of the port until they got all the artifacts out of the way, because they weren't going to allow them to crush them up into concrete. But here more recently, actually, I heard over in Afghanistan about 3 years ago, and this really irked me. The individuals over there that don't like anyone other than themselves and their own personal belief systems went into Afghanistan and started destroying the Buddhists' temples that were carved into the sides of these
caves. Yeah, they were blowing them up, weren't they?
Yes, they were. And to make sure to erase the Buddhist history of their quote unquote their land.
We've got a bit of history of that in the States. I saw a program once about giants in the US.
Oh yeah.
And the Smithsonian went round buying up any giant skeletons that were unearthed and destroyed them. But thankfully, there's still lots of local newspaper original photographs still, around the country. So although they destroyed a lot of the actual skeletons, there was the photographic evidence of them being uncovered and excavated. It's like they wanted to completely deny that there was a race of giants living here before the First Nations.
Well, you have to deny it, and the way to deny it is deny the Indian history, because it's oral history, and just discount it totally.
And the First Nations history was that these giants were so evil that they fought them until they destroyed them.
Pretty much, yeah, all of them. I heard there was a couple that have gone into hiding in caves that some of the Union soldiers had a run-in with on one occasion. And they supposedly had killed a couple of Union soldiers, but they ended up burning it out or something like that. But it's not erased. All the records of that stuff's erased. But I also saw a program here recently that validated my opinion that the Egyptians got here 2,000 some years ago during the Cleopatra era. And I saw something on about the boats, the technology they had for seafaring boats.
Yeah.
And they had discovered evidence of them having huge, almost aircraft carrier sized boats.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're like, what would they need these for?
Well, that would fit in a lot of the
other stories.
Well, a lot of the text in the Bible talks about Solomon sending fleets of ships to go get gold from Ophir and all over.
Yeah.
So those ships must have been pretty big to haul hundreds of tons of gold back.
Uh-huh. And they had the technology and the capabilities. And there are stories there, I believe, Cleopatra and Mark Antony had 3 kids, and only 2 of them were taken by Caesar when he conquered Alexandria, and Cleopatra had killed herself, and they lived out a life, of solitude, but were taken care of. But the first son or the third child was never found, nor was a lot of the treasures and texts. And the Indian lore of the First Nations, oral history states that they came to the Grand Canyon. And there are Smithsonian documents that were destroyed, but the guy copied them before he sent them off to the Smithsonian, and he had thousands of artifacts that prove exactly that story, that the Smithsonian actually, quote unquote, lost or misplaced or can't find.
Wow.
And then the whole area came off limits.
That dude who keeps going on about the Grand Canyon, what's his name? He might be some truth in it then.
Yeah, Graham. There is truth to it, in my opinion.
Interesting.
Well, you gotta, if you just, we're so closed-minded in our thought process, and even more intellectual people are closed-minded because we're taught from a Western philosophy. But if you go to study different philosophies of life, Buddhism and Hinduism, how many tens of thousands of years of history do they have? Can you discount it? So it has to be added. So first you've got to learn it, then you've got to integrate it into what they've taught us to get a basic understanding. Because unless you got money to go to specialty schools and get specialty professors, you're not going to learn about that stuff, because it's not like a class you can sign up for or an elective. You really got to go to certain schools to be able to get different philosophies and different histories of that country with their evidence, which is still in the Buddhist India area of the world. Is they still have, have you seen some of those temples built into the rocks?
They're incredible, aren't they?
Oh my gosh.
No room for mistake. You can't really stick a bit back on if you cut too much rock.
Exactly. It's like, oops, hey, let's start over, guys.
Yeah.
How many guys are going to piss off?
Mountain. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Sarge? I need to go ahead and make Sarge a moderator. He's a good buddy of mine.
So what are your topics today, Neil?
Well, before I knew that you were coming, it was going to be on will paper BTC affect BTC the same way as paper silver affected silver?
I would think that's the objective, isn't it? Lure people into Bitcoin and then destroy it to crush all hope of exiting the dollar.
I like being early with thought processes that people don't want to talk about.
It would make sense, because they can increase the volatility even more and
steal more money out of it. Yeah. And steal more wealth from good working hard people who are being deceived into thinking it's something. But for precious metals people, we see the manipulation of the paper silver to actual silver. So we have a unique stance to look at it and say, yeah, that's a train wreck. Now you put up the cross and stay further away from it. Or you say, hey, you know the scam, you can run it and make money on it. And that's a logical outlook. And I could not deny anyone. I might actually, since hopefully I'll be getting a job, God willing, I'll have a job this week coming up. I might actually throw some money at crypto, because why not? If it's going to go up, as I tell people, I can make money off of selling pork belly futures. So, it's not a long-term hold. It's a trade type thing. So in that, looking at it from that perspective, you can make money off of anything. So why not, make money off of it? It's a cyclical thing. It happens every 4 years. It's, it's highly not regulated, but it's on a regular schedule. It goes up, it goes down on a regular basis every 4 years.
Until it doesn't.
Well, that's the thing, it's the old saying, we're dancing till the music stops. Make sure you're close to this chair when the music stops. When's the music going to stop? That's the ultimate question. So yeah, you can make money, but yeah, everyone's going to lose in the end. But from my perspective, if they're talking about doing a paper ETF, I don't think they're going to be doing a rug pull this time, because they're going to need to get people in and all that money in. So next cycle, which will come in 4 years, would be a real good time to do it if the ETF had been around for about 3 to 4 years, because then you've got 10 times the amount of money into it. And when you do the rug pull, you got a lot more than you got now. But I don't, it wouldn't be advantageous to talk about the ETF then do the rug pull with it before you get the money. And if we talk about that now before they do the ETF, knowing how paper silver has affected the real silver price, you actually can go into it with a better perspective, more short term.
In a way, although it's been a painful ride for people who've been buying silver for decades, the manipulation of the price and the volatility has actually increased the squeeze that's coming greatly, because it's suppressed exploration. It's disincentivised any miners to really increase mine production. So they've practically destroyed for at least a decade any meaningful new supply of silver.
Hey, Ian, you want to catch that question?
How many ounces of osmium do you get for $100? You get 1 gram for $1,435 if it's a non-premium piece. So if it's a rectangle or a square or a hexagon or over 18 millimeters.
Well, you can get probably.
I think it's about 16 times more expensive than gold with the recent move in gold. But it's on a path to increase 160% by the end of 2026. And that is baked in, because the natural monopoly that produce it and the natural monopoly that cuts and certifies it have decided that's how it's going to be. So although things that could make you a quick buck are tempting, I like the osmium. And I've come to the conclusion, I've learned a lot from you, Neil, and Space Miner and Long Live Coins, and some clients down in California. Start making beautiful things out of it. You creating added value, creating another business. It's awesome.
And that's that goes along with my saying of every man's house is his castle. It's an old United States saying that
I thought that goes back to the UK.
Well, but we carried it over here to America.
You stole it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And and our freedoms and liberties are supposed to allow that to be true. You can't view through a wall into a man's house without a warrant. So every man's house is his castle. So everyone that's got a house, the only thing they're missing is the jewels, your royal family jewels. And this opportunity is the opportunity for you to create such ultimate family inheritable wealth. And I compare it to the crown jewels in England. Their crown was created 150 years ago. They still have it. The amount of gain of wealth of that jewelry, because of its placement and what it is worth 20 times more than the jewels themselves.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
And that's what happens.
If that went up for auction, it would go for billions, not millions.
I think 1.5 billion for one of the crowns and the jewels are worth like 100 million if you sell them separate. So the point is that if you make a unique piece, which you can do now with crystallized osmium, because not many people, so everything you make is going to be unique. Keep it in your family, and what's it going to be worth in 150 years?
I just saw Sarge asked for pictures of jewelry. We just had a pendant made with a 7 millimeter square. So I will...
Hold on a second here. There we go. There you go. You're getting the light reflection that way.
Oop. There we go. So this is the same design as the 4 millimeter square earrings.
Can you turn that sideways so I can get the width view of it? I want to see how they
sure.
set it.
Construction,
Okay, yeah, no, that's what I thought. Okay, right on. Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah. I was wondering how they did that.
Cool. And we finally got the 4mm earrings have come in. So that's the same design. Oh.
That's what my 2mm looks like. Similar.
Yeah. So our goldsmith, these are a standard casting. So he's just added a bit of gold to go around the edge of the osmium. Can you see he's put like a ring of gold round to give extra support.
I like it. I like how he did that.
Yeah, he's a real craftsman stuff. Hopefully we're going to get him start cranking these out. So we've just done a 4th of July craft fair in our town in Idaho, and it was sunny all day, so it was absolutely awesome watching people come up asking about what osmium is, looking at it on our display, and then I'd pass them a piece or a whole box and say, take it out in the sunshine. And the minimum reaction was, wow, and other people were jumping up and down. They could not believe how it comes alive in sunshine.
That aside, that is obviously a very, very, what excites me about it is it's got that blue hue to it.
Yeah, blue, purples. Oh, I just saw Chad there asking about what happens when you laser on it. I think Space Miner was talking about that earlier today.
It'll be a 100%. Hey, what's up, Space Miners in the chat now? I believe you get a 100% reflection in several directions.
You'd have to be very careful of a laser, then, because you
could blind yourself.
Because it's all of those facets are perfect mirrors on the crystallized osmium. So
yep, they would refract it in probably 10,000 different directions. That's actually an interesting thought. Oh, interesting, because they're looking at communications using lasers because it's faster communications, like to hit Voyager, because it's like, it takes like 22 hours to send a radio signal one way to hit Voyager, because it was launched like 47 years ago. But they're looking at lasers, and they've been firing lasers at the moon and having it bounce back. And they're trying to see if the information gets distorted, and if they can perfect sending information on laser beams for a faster signal back and forth. So if you could design the crystalline part of that osmium for a flatter surface, I could almost guarantee you a lot of companies would want it for that reflectiveness.
They
if it
did
was on
use,
single direction.
Yeah, I think they did use refined non-crystallized osmium as a space mirror, but it somehow some oxygen got in and it oxidized.
Yeah, that's because there's H2O out there.
So I don't think it would be possible to get the crystalline form in a flat sheet. I think.
It would be crystal, small crystals, not one large flat crystal. Yeah, but if they could make one like a 1-inch square flat crystal, that would have a lot of uses because of the perfect. I mean, it is the perfect reflective metal.
I'm going to have to get myself a laser now.
Get a cat laser.
Well, you could have a piece of osmium rotating with a laser shining at it.
That's what I was thinking, like a disco.
You could project that onto white walls or a ceiling, couldn't you? That would be pretty interesting.
I think a laser with a little 4mm round spinning on the ceiling, and you get yourself a discotheque. What's up, 79? You gotta watch out for 79. She's usually trouble.
Okay.
I'm playing. I have an ongoing thing with her. I timed her out on Long Live Coin shows because she asked me to. I don't think she thought I would, but that's the joy of being me. I do things that you ask me to do sometimes. So what is new with the road? I know you were having problems there, and I saw a news article. Hey, what's up?
Big. So in the late 1969, they finished a 70-foot high embankment on the Teton Pass, Highway 22. and it was quite a sharp bend. So they built up the ground to keep a constant 10% gradient. And obviously they didn't really check out what the subsoils were doing.
Yeah.
So after a point, the moisture content just kept increasing year on year, and the subsoil failed. So you get a rotation. So the whole mass of ground just rotates like this to get to equilibrium.
Yeah.
And the road was on top of it. So the road went down the mountain, gone.
Yeah. It usually doesn't last too long.
So they've done a temporary fix. They built an embankment up on the inside of the curve, but it could create problems with that extra weight. I think they put 30,000 cubic yards of fill. That extra weight could cause another ground failure, but maybe they'll get away with it now we're in the dry season. So hopefully they'll have a permanent fix before we get too much rain.
Yeah. And you guys get rain and snow up there too. Unlike out here in California, it's like every couple of years we get good rains. You guys get them every year.
We had a really wet summer last year. Yeah.
Yeah. We're supposed to be an extra hot this year and no rain.
But usually we're desert in the summer. Usually there's a pretty everything gets a bit dry.
Yeah, that's what's happening out here. We get the ground cracking up with the clay layer. The 3-foot clay layer we have starts drying and cracking and moving stuff around.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep what hair I've got left. OTG. Yeah.
When it highlighted since you talked about it. Here we go. You got to ask Ian that question.
What's that?
Well, you showed the earrings.
Oh, how much are those jewelry pieces?
Yeah.
I mean, it varies a lot on the osmium piece. So our cost price for this mount is around $200 with the it's 14 karat white or yellow gold. So plus whatever the piece of osmium costs. So to start with, we're just putting out pretty well at cost what the goldsmith work costs plus the piece of osmium, just to, it's good marketing to actually get pieces of jewelry out there that people can wear and show people.
Yeah.
I think that square, oh my gosh, I think it was about a $600 or $700 because I think it's a Sparkle 5, that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think Sarge knows. The piece he's showing, Sarge, it comes in different sparkle grades. What that means is the thickness of the crystal and the refractive properties it has.
It's the size of the crystal, so it doesn't refract; it just reflects.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have done a test. We had it in the hot sun for 4 days. I really need actually to do a test to see what the temperature increases.
Yeah.
Because that would indicate how reflective it is. So I'm presuming it doesn't heat up that much in the sunlight.
Yeah, 79's got a good sense of humor. How much are those earrings you have?
These, I think these are Sparkle 4 millimeter. So I think these come around the 600 for the pair. But he did put a very heavy back on.
Yeah, see, we've got.
He advised us not to go lightweight. He said put a quality, because you can skimp by having a much lighter back.
Yeah.
But I'm really pleased with his work. It's really, really tidy and neat.
Yeah, our earrings are earring, nose ring.
The wrong way.
Interchangeable, total different clasping system.
Yeah. Yeah, these are just a traditional earring.
Yeah. There's a lot, and I wanted to bring that up to let people know that the jewelry market, as Ian was showing, he's got those 4 millimeter earrings. I'm coming up with a set of 2 millimeter earrings, but the style is different because it's so vast, the jewelry arena, that it's just you could have 5 people doing earrings and have 5 different styles of earrings. It's just so vast. So it shouldn't deter anybody that someone else is doing something. Get out there and do it.
Well, especially with such a finite supply. If even if people start making the same piece, there's going to be so few of them that the demand that they'll be easy to sell. The demand will be so high.
Oh my God!
So I can actually announce the world's number 17 tennis player is now promoting osmium. So that's an interesting development in the world of sport. So he's an up and coming tennis player, number 17 ranking in the world.
So basically what he's saying, people, is buy now. Because once one famous person starts talking about it and millionaires start looking at it, you're going to be put on a waiting list, because their order, it'll be $1 million order, and they're going to have to make it first.
It won't quite work that way. The Osmium Institute are very loyal to their state institute partners and their representatives. So I think it'll actually be the other way around. I think they would turn down a large order to make sure they could supply all their existing partners and state institutes.
All right, people, what Ian just said is you need to keep his number when you want to buy crystallized osmium, because he'll be able to get it to you before anyone else. Because he is the flagship.
I hope so, because we were the first flagship store in the world.
Yes. I saw that video, and he stated that. And with what you just told me, that guarantees, in my opinion of what you have told me and what Egon has said, is that Ingo. Sorry.
Get his name right, as he might not supply
you. I haven't got it right yet, bro.
Ingo Wolf.
Ingo. I'll just call him Mr. Wolf. That's easier.
Mr. Wolf. So I think the world number 17 should be playing at Wimbledon. So the osmium symbol will be as prominent on his shirt.
In all things in good time, Sarge.
Question there. Easiest, most convenient, effective way to pay is e-check, ACH. It's completely fee-free. We do the work from our side. And it's probably more secure than a paper check in the post.
I actually like wire transfer myself, but
yeah, but you get hit with a $25 or $30 fee. That's the downside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still like it.
Yeah, I know some accounts don't charge, do they? Some accounts don't charge for wire.
It's just easier and convenient. You can make a phone call if the numbers are already gone through. You just make a phone call, and it's just you pay for convenience. In anything you pay. That's why they call them convenience stores, but the prices are twice that of a grocery store.
Oh, I just see OT wire transfer goes through the Federal Reserve. Yeah, it probably does. Yeah, so do postal orders, don't they? Money orders go through the Federal Reserve as well.
The only transaction nowadays that doesn't get tracked is they pretty much all can be, because that's why even dollar bills have bills have social security numbers.
paying with silver. We bought some honey yesterday. We bought 2 gallons of honey for silver. And what else did I bought? I bought a handmade leather wallet for silver. And what else did I buy? I bought a incredible piece of ironwork from a local blacksmith. He made this incredible tool out of an old crescent wrench. He forged a bottle opener and a steak turner out of the handle of the crescent wrench and left the jaws on it. So it's
right on.
I paid for that with silver. So that was fun, being able to trade with the other people at the craft fair.
You ought to videotape that, because I had a friend in Texas go to a farmer's market, and he used constitutional silver to buy his stuff at the farmer's market. He went ahead in advance and found out who would and would not accept it. And then when he found someone who would accept it, he did business with them and filmed it, and showed people how to do it and how to use your constitutional. Now, to Sarge's point, Sarge has said that he believes that the smaller minting of silver, 1/2 ounce, 1/4 ounce, 1/10 ounce, is going to get bigger as the price goes up. And
I think that's very, very wise to plan for that. Yeah,
that's why. And I've got videos where I bought 50 1/10 ounce silver. And with the premium, people were like, Neil, you're stupid. I'm like, well, it all depends on when I sell.
Yeah, and there's got to be a way to make it low premium as well. I mean, I'm thinking there has to be, with modern manufacturing and technologies, with EDM cutting.
Oh yeah, no, it could.
There's got to be ways to make it economical.
There is. It's most of it's unfortunate. most of that price is profit margin or greed. And if they
yeah, I mean, if you're running a mint, to mint a 10th ounce coin costs just as much as to mint a 1 ounce coin.
Exactly.
So if you're charging wholesale 50 cents to mint a 1 ounce round, it's $5 to mint 1/10 ounce round. So I can see that. But I think with sort of backyard small enterprises, I think there's got to be innovation in ways of making smaller denomination. I mean, heck, it shouldn't be too far away. It's probably here that we could print silver items.
That's what Sarge was just saying. He said, I think the backyard pourers will start pouring smaller silver pieces as we go along.
Yeah.
Exactly what you just said.
But whilst the premiums are really low, I mean, the dimes are incredible at the moment. I mean,
that's why I don't care about a little premium on each of the coins. I see a longer term where it won't matter. So
yeah. And it's good to always to have some small denominations, because if you're talking to somebody about precious metals, you can give them a piece. That can make a big impression. Somebody to realize.
Or you could do like me and be foolish and stick a couple 10th ounce silver in my cat and dog's water dishes.
Well, that's probably going to keep the water healthy for them, isn't it?
That's exactly why I do it.
I think I might start doing it with our guard dogs. Yeah.
It definitely wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
It cleans up the water.
But eventually, OTG is saying about copper. Yeah, I mean, because traditionally, isn't it? A lot of countries, it was a trimetallic system: gold, silver, copper.
We're going to have a copper shortage here shortly, people.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think I'm right in saying no major copper mine has been developed in 100 years.
100%. That's why I'm saying it, because they're all these special people are talking their special thing about special things, and it's denying the opening of new copper mines. And quite frankly, the ones we have are coming to an end. So we're going to have a serious copper shortage. Copper shortage. And that's going to.
Are we around $5 a pound at the moment?
Last I checked a couple of days ago, it was around there. Yeah.
Yeah. What does that put an old penny at? Three pennies, I guess. What?
I think it was 3 cents per penny in copper weight for 3.84. I think it is. Someone in the chat can.
Hey, Spaceman, copper is the redhead of the precious. Was you saying it's the redhead stepchild of the precious metal family?
It's actually the poor man's precious metal, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, the copper pent, that's 14, 12, 1300s. They were using copper for money.
I wonder if an alloy of, say, 50% copper, 50% silver could be interesting as an intermediary. I don't know. I mean, obviously you've got sterling silver as 92.5% pure, isn't it? And constitutional is 90%. And then the Kennedy $half from 65 through 70 are 40%. And the war nickels are 35%.
I find there is a possibility, not probability, but a possibility that they could take and create alloys of the precious metals, like you were saying, mix like a nickel with a silver or a nickel with a copper to increase the amount of coinage.
It does get so complicated, though. I guess that's probably best to stick to 3.9.
Well, no, if you're going for a money system,
okay,
You know, I could see an alloy of the silver to where we could still constitutionally say it's money, but it's not 999 in in the new quarter. It would be like 50%. So that way we could dilute down the silver to be able to get the amount of the coinage we need in our economy.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, they're already going to have to redo the penny with about half the amount of copper.
That was the excuse given in 1934 for the conservation of silver. The government said they needed it to mint coins, and I think they paid. I think it was $1 an ounce. They had the cheek to charge another fee on top of the offer price. I'm pretty certain they paid 99 cents for all the silver that was handed in 1934.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of people focus on the gold in 1933, but they went after the silver in 1934.
How's it going, Sean's Precious Bullion? Yeah, I didn't know that. Can I ask you this? Do you know if they ever went after platinum?
I presume the uses of platinum have grown substantially since then. I think it was a bit of the redhead child then of the precious metals, wasn't it? It was.
Yeah, and it still is.
Only used. Was it in the Tsar's Russia? It was used, or is it used in communist in the USSR's coins?
1825 to 1845. They made
so it was in the old. It was in the old Tsar.
Yeah.
Period.
It was in the Tsar period. They made 4 coins: a 20.4 gram, 9.4, 6.4, and 3.4 platinum coinage to be circulated as money.
You got me interested again in platinum. I'd sort of, because we weren't getting hardly any inquiries, but recently I've managed to pick up some fractional eagles, even a proof one at pretty close to spot. So I'm keeping increasing when I see anything. If I see anything interesting in platinum now, I try to get it.
Well, I've been talking about platinum since I started my channel.
Yeah.
I like platinum. I see great potential, always have. And until it gets back to its historic average, it's going to be, I see potential.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. It's historically
and I think
gold's price.
I mean, they haven't done a business strike in the 1 ounce platinum eagle this year. And I think they're going to cease doing it from some information I've heard. And they stopped doing the fractional a few years ago, didn't they? The fractional platinum eagles.
And the excuse they use is there was no interest. And what usually happens when you stop something, that's when interest starts.
Yeah.
So I project they will restart it with a little bit of pressure from people saying, hey.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they don't respond to the demand for the silver eagle, do they?
That's because they manipulate that.
I guess. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I see Sean's Precious Bullion there saying platinum coins have the highest face value. Yeah, I've noticed that because isn't it the half ounce platinum eagle is a $50? Yeah. So a half ounce platinum has a $50 face value, whereas the 1 ounce gold
is 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where, and when I first started telling people about it, one of my points was first people were telling me platinum's not money. So I'd go, okay, let me go to the law and explain to you people, all American eagles are legal tender. Platinum coin in eagle form is legal tender. That makes it legally money.
Makes it money. Makes it a coin. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and I'd go through explanations with people about that, and still deny. And I ran it. Rick Rule, first time I had one of my questions passed to him through Liberty Finance, he was like, platinum's crap. I was like,
really?
Yeah. He's not on platinum. Well, now his tune has changed because I started throwing out the facts because people, even Andy Scheckman, I've spoken with him about it, and he's like, I've had this company for 45 years. We just don't know. No one buys platinum, so I don't know about it. and he was very honest, and that's why I respect.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was saying to you just a minute ago. That I sort of lost interest because no one was really asking for it.
Yeah, and that's what happens. It comes and goes. But trust me, later this year, because see, in South Africa, they just for the first time in 30 years, their old party, the DNC, had to make concessions with other parties to maintain power. And I did a video a week before they did that, and I got it on video stating that if they made a deal to concessions to stay in power with the DA party, which is the pro-business party, there's this one gentleman that would get a key position in the government that would fix the platinum gold issue that they're having with their economics, because it's a caused problem and he knows how to fix it. And so I was like, if this happens, you can expect it. And then sure enough, a week later, the DNC made concessions to the DA party, and this gentleman is going to get the position I said he's probably going to get. So platinum is going to start going up. And once that happens, just like everything else, everyone's going to be interested in it. And no one's going to have enough of it. That's why I've been telling people, buy it, buy it, buy it, because I see this coming.
Yeah, just seen Seth Shepard there saying he's looking at platinum prices on JM Bullion. A lot of the big companies tend to charge incredibly high premiums for platinum.
You're talking to a man right now to get platinum from, Seth.
So I think my favorite at the moment is the Isle of Man Platinum Noble with the Viking ship. I think that's my favorite 1 ounce platinum coin. Well, that's interesting. Do you want to put that comment up about the fusion cells?
I figured you were talking about that one.
Yeah. 60 grams of platinum. Wow. So that's nearly 2 ounces.
Uh-huh.
Well, there isn't enough platinum then, is there?
Yeah, there is if they stockpile, and there's only a limited supply of that power train.
I didn't think we had a stockpile of platinum. I thought that'd been depleted with
no, China's getting a stockpile. They're buying 2.5 million ounces this year, and they were buying about that much last year as well.
Are they getting that from Russia since we've made
South Africa?
So we've boycotted Russian platinum, haven't we? That's on the list of banned metals.
Yeah, and that's why that's one reason now you're hitting the nail on what I believe is why the American government is not minting as much coin, because China's buying up all South Africa's supply and we can't buy Russia's supply. So they say there's not an interest in platinum. That's
because they can't get it.
In my personal opinion, that's bull crap. They can't get the supply due to our regulations and restrictions on buying from Russia, and China is already buying 2.5 million ounces. And since they partnered up with South Africa, they're getting it before we get it. And they only produce they're down in the past 2 years. Last year, they reduced supply by 7%. This year, it was like 15%. They're doing voluntary layoffs on the mines down in South Africa. So they're down 22% production from like 6 million ounces a year. So that's like they're making 5 million. So China's getting over half the world's supply last year and this year of the platinum coming out of the ground. So the first ones that are going to suffer is us, the Americans, in the mint. And I think that's why they're not minting. They're going to stop minting.
Right. So do you think a squeeze is really imminent on platinum?
Yes. Yes. It's more than
we could see it going $2,000-$3,000 in months.
Higher. Yeah, higher even.
Right. And the industrial uses, there isn't really a substitute, is there?
Nope.
I know. I did speak at length once with a guy who ran a company, and they leased platinum to laboratories. So high-end chemical research, they use platinum vessels and pipes and all sorts because it's the lowest cost, least reactive system for high-end chemical research.
Oh yeah, it's the only catalyst out there for chemical research is platinum,
and it is key for fractional distillation, isn't it, in oils?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And that's Nigeria. They just built that largest oil refining plant. It's like 10 times more refining capacity than all of OPEC or something like this. That's why I'm not concerned. That's why I'm not concerned about the petrodollar, because about 20 years ago, Saudi put out a study saying they're going to run out of oil in a certain amount of time. So they were changing the whole economy, and it was going to be a tourist economy, international tourism. That's when they built all that crazy islands they built, and they built the ski resort in the desert, and they threw all this money because they wanted to be an international tourism, and because they were going to have to lose oil because they don't have any more. It's running out.
Yeah,
it's not. They've never had an infinite supply. So when people say, "Oh, the dollar's off the petro," yeah, it was planned. We're the ones who set them up with oil. We've told them over 75, 80 years how much to pump. So we know how much they have. We know when it's going to end. I mean, it's like, so what if it's off the petrodollar? Who cares? There's another plan in play.
Yeah, and there is a big risk, isn't it? Oil is going to get trapped in the ground. I mean, if some of these new small modular nuclear reactors or the gas cooled reactors, and a lot of solar in countries where it works. In Morocco, I think they were even talking about building huge solar farms with a massive supply cable to send that electricity to Europe. If any or all of these things start to happen, they we could get to a point where oil will get trapped in the ground. It won't be economical to extract it.
Here's something, and this is one of many reasons why I concentrate on geopolitical on my channel. Ethiopia, the Gerd Dam, they're going to be exporting power to all of the neighboring countries. They're going to have excess. They're going to power their whole country and supply power to the other countries around them. Congo is going to build a dam just as big. Burkina Faso is getting a nuclear power plant from Russia. Egypt's going to finish up on a 45-year-old nuclear power plant that Russia's building next year. South Africa is going to be looking at small modular reactors to supplement their coal-powered old school power rig that they got. So when all this happens, who needs oil? All of Africa is going to provide their own energy.
We could be at a point where we've reached peak oil demand, especially with we've now got falling population around the world on average. I guess the only thing that would keep increasing oil demand is a sort of demand for a rise in living standards, but that seems to be going out the window. It looks like China is going to just implode anytime soon.
Yep.
So, we could be at. I mean, if we are at peak oil demand, and
it's
then lots of alternatives are coming in. I mean, Chevron. The last I heard, they're the second largest owner of solar panels in the world.
And Phillips 66 is behind them because
they're number 3, are they?
Yeah.
So if all companies are going that big into solar, they're not doing it for a minor diversification. They're doing it for survival, aren't they?
Well, also they're diversifying out here. The refineries, 2 of the 5 refineries in the Bay Area, like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, switched from making car gas to biodiesel. When's that going to be a big thing? Are they building up a stockpile of biodiesel for the new hydrogen hybrid biodiesel hydrogen engine power plants and the Japanese put this theory out a long time ago before EV became a big push, before China got into it and screwed themselves. And this is why one of many reasons why China's going down, is because the thought process was, if we force people on EV, they will get off gas. That's not working. Japan had another theory that if you offer 3 or 4 options of power plants, 3 other than the combustion engine, then you'll have an average of people deciding 25%, 25%, 25%, and that'll actually get 75% of people off the combustion engine without forcing or subsidizing through tax dollars some industry to make your will happen. But the American government went with the tax and spend and forced us onto the EV rather than giving us options. Now we're changing up. And I saw this coming too. Another reason to push platinum, because I saw this coming. The hydrogen hybrid biodiesel engine is going to be coming, which is a separate power plant. The electric engine power plant, the combustion engine power plant, and there's going to be 1 or 2 more. So we're going to have more choices of power plant. And that's going to take us off. That's going to be the largest resource of need for oil being taken off the market in the next couple of years.
Yeah, and I think Japan, aren't they going all out for hydrogen? They've created a retail retail distribution of hydrogen across the country.
Buy platinum.
And also, I did hear some technology where you have a gas-cooled nuclear reactor, which is supposed to be one of the safest.
It's helium. I think it's helium.
Well, you use the excess heat from the gas-cooled reactor to create your hydrogen.
Yeah. And that's, exactly.
And all that means, like you said, incredible demand for platinum.
Yep.
Because you'll have millions of vehicles needing ounces of platinum in each vehicle.
Yeah. Buy platinum now. That's all I can say. Buy it. Buy silver, platinum, crystallized osmium. Because 2 of the 3 of those things are going to be off market soon.
Yeah, I mean, the osmium, we got the timetable. The production is in 2026.
And platinum won't be that far behind it.
Although it will keep on being mined, won't it? And I think it's been a reasonably large discovery in Canada.
Yeah, and their excuse for not mining now is a very important reason for what I say about platinum. You will know that the platinum price is going to be going up once they start mining, because they said they're not going to start mining until there's a sustainable higher platinum price.
Oh, okay. So
they know
they're not even going to bring the production online until it's
they're not even going to start because they know it's being manipulated, and they're not going to waste money at something they know they're going to lose money at, because there's no literal control of market supply and demand. It's being manipulated. So why should they bother? They're going to wait. They know what they have.
So
wait.
Why do you think there hasn't been just a billionaire who's just popped up? Do you know what? I'm going to buy all of the platinum.
For the same reason, there's not a billionaire out there that's not Batman.
I mean, some of them must be incredibly well educated and advised, or maybe their advisors don't get scarcity of precious metals.
I tell you what, if I get any money,
because it'd be so easy, wouldn't it, Neil? It'd be so freaking easy.
Let's quit talking about. Don't give anyone any ideas till after I get my crystal lightning going. I want to sell a couple of those, get a couple tens of millions of dollars, and I'll buy as much as I can. And I'll be the guy you're talking about. Well, I know this guy who did that. And it'll be me, because that's what I want to do. I want to buy all the platinum mines in America. I'm still interested in, and this is bizarre as heck fire that no one's really put any money or research into this. You know where the Western name of platinum came from? It came from the conquistadors back in the 1500s in Central America. They were smelting down the gold and the silver to put in the bars to take back to Spain. And they came across this silver-looking rock that they couldn't melt down. They called it platina.
Yeah,
because they didn't get high enough. They didn't know what it was.
Small silver, isn't it? Is that the
platina, little silver.
Yeah.
So they called it platina, and we now call it platinum. Yeah. Or my newest cat's name is Platina, but that's another story. But they were in Central America, or in Colombia somewhere, and there has not been a placer mine discovered. Where did that platinum come from that they found in rocks that they threw away, and actually threw away enough of it to come up with a name for it? Yeah. They didn't just come across 1 or 2 rocks to name it. 1 or 2 rocks you don't even worry about. To name a substance, it's got to be a bother to you. You've got to come across a lot of it. Where is that platinum?
So I can share my my plan to conquer the world if you're interested.
I most certainly am.
So my plan is to raise enough capital to buy the Osmium Institute. Then I'll make so much money with the osmium, I'll use that to buy every silver mine and every stockpile of silver, and I'll buy every geologist, I'll buy every school of mines, I'll buy the whole industry, then I'll own the whole silver market, and then I can decide who gets the silver. Anybody I don't like doesn't get any silver.
Unfortunately, I'll be your competition because I'll be out in space.
We'll team up.
We'll team up here on Earth, but I'm looking at mining for future mining after we do ocean mining. And this is probably 50 years out. I'm looking at mining the Kuiper Belt. There are so many minerals, and actually, there's even closer asteroid belts that are not as prevalent with asteroids closer. Like if you do a lot of research on Earth and the Moon, you will find out we have a second moon. It's just in what's called M2 orbit, which is a lot further out. And if you study on rockets and orbiting of rockets and sending rockets, quiet, Gandalf.
Is that a white fluffy cat that's sitting on your lap? You're stroking it like the James Bond villain?
No, that's my
No?
Russian blue,
Okay.
and he wants outside that door and he won't shut up, and I don't want
I've got a great story about a Russian blue. So,
to.
a friend of mine in England, he was a plumber, and this Russian blue just moved in on them.
Yeah,
became their cat. You know, they loved the cat, really nice cat. So a while later, the actual owner came knocking on their door and said, "Look, this cat cost me £500. It cost me this for the vaccines. You know, if you want the cat, you've got to give me the money." So my friend Donald, he said, "Yeah, sure, okay, hang on a minute." He goes in the house, he picks up the cat, and he throws the cat at the guy. Knowing full well the cat's going to come straight back to him.
Probably wasn't even that guy's cat.
No, it was. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that was a Russian blue. Beautiful cats, aren't they?
They are selective on who their owners are.
They're pretty moody, aren't they? They're pretty intense.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
And if they choose you, you got a good, cool cat. Luckily, this guy chose me, so he's very cooperative, except for when he wants to go in the other room, and he's uncooperative. Yes, I'm talking about you. All the other cats are looking at him like he's going to get in trouble, which he is. And I got him trained. These are my keys. This is going to make him run. He just running out of the room. He hates that sound. That's how I discipline him. I just shake my keys. So
what's your plan with the lightning?
Oh, well, with this job, within 4 to 5 weeks, I'm going to be flying down and building the lightning crystal box and setting it up. My friend's living on the property, and my partner, he's living on the property right now. So he'll be able to eyeball it, keep an eye on it, and get video and all that stuff.
Are you going to have a remote sensor to know when you've got a strike? Oh, I just clapped, huh? That's not good.
Are you putting on weight?
No, I've lost a few pounds working. I worked so hard the last 4 days.
Yeah, I've heard you were working there. Yeah, so I'm gonna. You'll be able to tell if you get a strike. He's going to be within 100 yards, and his hair will probably stand up on his head along with the big guy.
You're going to do like a Frankenstein thing, fly a kite up to catch the lightning?
No, there's several different ways we're going to try. Again, this has never been done, so I don't know if I'll be successful in the first attempt. But if on the first attempt, the lightning rod will reach 19 foot into the air, and if that's not high enough, my friend who owns the property's got several telephone poles. We'll bury one of those in the ground and attach the lightning rod to it, taking it up, even up to like 30 foot up in the air.
What's your safety thing for overload?
What's that?
Well, if you get too much energy, will it not just destroy your box?
No, it's going to just pass through it. It's going to have a lightning rod on top.
Okay.
It's going to end at the top of the box, and then it will have a lightning rod about 4 foot into the earth and 3 foot out of the earth right underneath the box. So it's going to be like a breaker box for the lightning.
So that's going to be what sort of pretty thick copper bar, or?
Yeah, I'm going to use basically what they use for houses.
Yep.
I'm just going to get probably like an 8 footer and drive it 4 or 5 foot into the ground. Because in my studies of lightning, I've just determined that actually lightning starts from the ground and goes up with a negative charge.
There's a trail, isn't it? And then that allows the main charge to come back down.
Yeah, and they meet in the middle, and then the lightning flows through.
Makes a great support. Yeah.
So so I've got studies into what I think would cause it, and I think if I drive a lightning rod 4 foot in the ground, have it 3 foot up in the ground, and have a water source, sand and water in a box, and then have a lightning rod above it going about 12 foot. That puts me at like 19 foot. I think I should get a hit, mostly not because of the height, but because of the depth of the rod into the ground.
I wonder what it would do if you put that through osmium sponge.
I've got plans to get an email together and have someone distribute out to colleges that would be interested in doing lightning research. Because if I can get 3 strikes in a row or not in a row, but if I can get 3 strikes on the lightning box artwork thing idea, there's possibility for scientific study of lightning, because I can get consecutive strikes in the exact same area where you can set up scientific equipment and actually monitor it. And that's kind of sort of an interest that I have with it, as well as, making money off of it. But I think the science there's a lot to be gained in that. So I'm hoping I'm successful for all of humanity's sake. And if not, every lightning strike actually ionizes the air and positively charges all the smart particles within like 100 yards of the lightning strike, and it causes them to gain weight and fall from the air, so you have cleaner air to breathe.
Oh, it knocks out the positive ions, is that?
Yeah, and that's all the dust and particulates get charged, and they get heavy and they fall to the ground, and you have ionized or clean, fresh air to breathe.
Yeah.
So that's a positive about doing it. A negative is you jump up off your fucking chair when you hear that lightning strike. I've been within 50 foot of a lightning strike. Man, it makes you jump, even if you know
I've been way closer.
And it makes you jump. That's probably why you don't have hair.
I had the whole side of a house, a brick-built, brick cavity, brick wall construction. The whole side taken out with props holding it up to install a big steel beam to extend the house out sideways. And I jokingly said to the guys who are working with me, all we need now is a big truck to thunder past the road and shake the ground. And a bolt of lightning hit the tree in the garden next door about 20 feet away. And it shook the flipping ground. I'll tell you what, I was
yeah. Your hearing was you heard ringing.
It shook the ground. But interestingly, I did finish the job, got the extension done, and the neighbor was a bit of a pain in the butt. Mr. Dungy, that was his name. He was just awkward about everything. One of those neighbors, like, come on, just chill. About 2 years later, lightning struck, and he was next door but one to the house. No, he was next door to the house I was working on, and it struck his house so hard it lifted the whole roof structure and dropped it back down in a 3-inch different position. And it went through all of the electrical cable and vaporized all of the copper throughout the whole house. There was no copper left in the house.
Oh, yeah. It vaporized it.
Yeah, it just gone. Yeah.
Now, see, check this out. From what you just said, from that, if I take a 1/8 inch copper wire and I put it, because I'm doing a 4x4 box, and in the center of that, 2 foot off of each side is where the lightning rods are going to be. So theoretically, the lightning will shoot straight through. But if I take 1/8 inch copper rod and make figurines out of it and set it about 6 inches off the side, or about 1.5 foot off of where the lightning supposedly, theoretically, will shoot down through, I should get some residual, and it should do the same thing of vaporize that copper. But because it's in colored sand, I should get a piece of literal artwork made of lightning. And that's one of the things I want to go for when doing it. And as to this question here, that is one of my interests. And if I can get any college involved, or the Department of Energy, or someone to do some sort of studies, what I would like to do is take it, but when I get it done to where I can get lightning to strike my device, I want to take and splice it to where, instead of having one lightning rod, take that one lightning rod and add 2 off to the side of it at a lower point, to where the lightning can divert. And this is where I need the scientific research people there, because I'll need to be able to see if the power that went through there was lessened by 1/3, and if not, what was it lessened by? And like I said, there's a lot of science there, to where the question that he just asked could be a possibility, but the science has to be learned to be able to do that. And that's another interest that I have in this whole lightning crystal thing.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm very interested, because you could theoretically, if it works, and you could splice the lightning rod and split the lightning to 4s or 5s and lessen the power, it could get to less enough of a power from a lightning strike to where you could instantly ignite a thorium liquid salt reactor. And that could save tens of millions hundreds of thousands to $10 million in preheat up costs to get. I mean, it could be a real cost saver.
It's just I guess it's just the predictability, isn't it?
Yeah. And like I said, that's where the scientific study comes in, and that's where one of many interests I have of doing this is I want so many cameras on that thing and so many scientific devices on that thing that I want to see that picture of the negative energy coming up through the ground, shooting up from the ground through the lightning rod, and then have that positive particle go down. And you can only do it with cameras that are like 30,000 frames a second because it happens so fast.
Yeah.
But I have seen one, and it's like a bluish purple. It's kind of like osmium. It's a bluish purplish hue that comes out from the ground, and it connects with this like stringy, translucent positive charge. And as soon as they touch, just like if you take a positive and negative car jumper cables and hit them, as soon as they hit, you get the bam, and that's where the lightning happens. It's just like battery cables touching together. Positive, negative. One comes from the ground going up, one comes from the cloud going down. As soon as they hit, that's when you get the kabam, and the physical light that we see through our visual spectrum occurs at that time. But there's a lot of science happening that we don't see before that time. And that's what I'm tapping into to hopefully guarantee that I can get lightning strikes. But we'll find out. But as soon as I get this job, I'll be able to go down there and do that. And I'm kind of excited about that. Sorry for making it such a long explanation for him.
No, I'm really interested in that.
I'm kind of excited, like I said.
We get so much lightning here over Yellowstone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, incredible amount. I don't think they'd let me mess around in Yellowstone doing that though. But.
Well, here's another thing. They've got quartz lightning crystal. It strikes in areas like where you're at, in the mountaintops, where the lightning hits. It's very rare because people don't. I mean, it's just such a small strike. Who's going to see where it struck? To be able to go in there and collect this granite rock that was struck with lightning. But if I can get this lightning device that I'm making to work to where it'll catch the lightning strikes as they come through, I could fill that box with granite rock and have a very rare substance and make it as much as I wanted.
Yeah.
You know, and I wouldn't have to heat it up to 9,000 degrees. God would do that for me. So you can tell Mr. Wolf I'm going to cheat. I'm going to make crystal too, but a different way. But we're on the same thought process. And that's cool to know. And that's where, of course.
So you're going to use that fortune to corner the platinum market.
Yeah, and buy Mr. Wolf out with you.
Okay.
And buy an island, maybe start a nation. Because I guess I could get an island and get Elon Musk to throw out some of his little pontoons out there, and I could start launching rockets and be a space powerhouse and have only 20 people on my island and let all the rockets land right on my little buoys that I got out there. Make money launching rockets as a country. If you're in the right spot of the equatorial zone, you could actually do that.
So getting back to metals, what other key metals do you think are going to do really well? I see people are mentioning about tin and copper making bronze. Tin is a very key metal, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And aluminum. There's lots of different types of aluminum. They've got aluminum.
But aluminum, there's no shortage, is there? It's the most common, isn't it? The most common element?
Yes, it is. But this is where I'm going with that. When I'm looking at aluminum, I'm looking at like aluminum 2368. That's a 4 number. And then they got aluminum 68. So there's different types of aluminum, and the type of aluminums that they use in rocket engines.
Yeah,
it's very, very much rare.
But isn't that just pure aluminum alloyed with other metals? Or is it with other elements?
I am not 100% sure how they do that. I have never looked into it.
Because I know when you alloy aluminum with silver, you get an alloy that is as strong as steel, but it's nearly as light as aluminum.
Oh, this is very interesting. Actually, I know a guy whose company he makes engine parts for SpaceX, so I should ask him.
Yeah.
I have the resources.
It says indium.
Is that India or India?
Indium.
I'm messing with him.
And then there's another fairly rare metal that they use in aircraft engine turbines, I think, or they coat the blades to cope with high temperatures.
Yeah. Yeah. There's lots of things they've used over time to try and find the perfect thing. Big thing about those turbines is the birds.
But I guess the only metals that we've really got access to at relatively low premiums are platinum. You can't really buy tin, can you? In a small bullion bars?
I think you can.
Can you?
But,
okay.
Yeah, I look. You can get copper. You can get.
Can you
tin?
You can't get it a low premium though, can you?
Oh, I don't know about the price. No,
yeah,
that's another story.
Yeah,
but you can get it, but it's at a unique. I have it saved in my bookmarks of unique metals that you can buy. That won't kill you. Sorry, I was pouring some tea. I gotta have my tea.
Yeah. We have.
That's it. It's the Islander. You know, I think Nordic gold is what, copper and gold?
Really?
Let me check on that. It's 10% something in gold. There's actually a 1, 2. Oh no, okay. Nordic gold it's a Swedish thing. Is a gold colored copper alloy, which many coins are made of. The alloy is a type of aluminum bronze.
Okay.
It's called Nordic gold. I knew I'd heard of that before. Let's see. Nordic gold is gold colored copper alloy for which coins are made. Types of aluminum and bronze. It has been used for a number of coins as many currencies, most notably in the 50 and the 20 and the 10-cent euro, and in the Swedish 5 and 10 kronor coins, as well as the Polish 2 zloty. Interesting. So it's actually used as money, Nordic gold.
Okay. Copper, tin, aluminum, and brass.
Yeah. Thank you, Sean's precious balloon, excuse me. But yeah, I think platinum's actually the best steel out there, and crystallized osmium. I have some upsetting news for silver people. Everyone thinks that it will be for a short time, the type of solar panels we're using now and photovoltaic cell connections we use now to the grid. But there's new technologies coming out that require no silver for photovoltaic.
But they've been talking about that for decades, haven't they?
Yeah, I've seen 2 of the products, and they actually have prototypes, so it's not far off. Once you have a prototype, there's money there. And one of the solar, it looks like a 20-sided dice. Not sure how it works, but it's like 300% more efficient than solar panels we use today, and it's a lot smaller. I just saw. I don't actually recall the whole thing about it because there's a lot of interesting things that we're talking about, but that caught my eye. And also solar paint, where you can paint your car, and the whole car is a solar. Yeah,
cell. I mean, photovoltaic ink has been. Yeah, that was. Oh, I think I read about that 3-4 years ago. Some university developed that.
Well,
so you can print a solar panel.
No,
any high-end modern printing plant could print it on almost anything.
Yeah, this one you paint your car with it, and the paint is the photovoltaic cell, and it requires no silver, and it still produces.
Will it cost less?
Well, cost is for the big industries is different than for you or I.
Yeah, but at the moment,
use,
a solar panel uses 20 grams, so just under 2/3
but
of an ounce.
the efficiency level is basically, it's only good for 8 hours a day, because when you look at the efficiency and you think that's a 24-hour day, no, it's not. It's only for 8 hours, that 24 hours. So the efficiency really drops when you add in that. And they're not as, I don't think solar cells are efficient at all. Now, the ones they have on the space stations out there, they're more expensive, obviously, but they're like 90% efficient instead of like 20, which is the ones we have, 20% efficiency. And these other solar cells that I was talking about that are they look like a 20-sided dice, they're like 60 or 70% efficiency. It's just new tech is coming out. That's because actually solar panels are old tech. It's just a matter of time, and the time is very soon that this new tech will be released. And it, like I said, when it is released, silver is not required for the technology. So, I mean, so not that it matters, because that just means we could use silver for actual money and circulation. Because I like that idea better, because I'd rather have silver in my coinage, knowing that my hands are getting cleaned every time I touch it. But that's just me.
You'll have to send me the research on that. I'd not come across that yet on the solar panels. I know for a while they were talking about graphene, but graphene is incredibly brittle, so it's just not practical to make a durable product out of it yet.
Oh, shit. How do I do this? I'll find it.
Sure, thank you.
It was yesterday. I got to go through my YouTube history, because I was watching something on it yesterday. I watch all kinds of weird stuff. A lot of high tech, new tech type stuff. And, it might not make it to market a couple of years, but it is the newest thing. And with the money they're sinking into solar right now, it's all subsidized.
Some is subsidized. I know in the UK now there is no government subsidy for solar panel installations. We're in a strange situation where the companies in America charge so much, they're just ripping people off. Companies like Tesla are just, I would say, they're just crooks. Elon boasts they make 42% profit on their solar and their battery systems, which is just ridiculous, in my opinion. But I know in Australia, you can get an equivalent solar installation for nearly for around a third of what it costs here in the US. So I think there's some, I don't know, maybe corporate greed here for solar, or maybe it's perceived as a soft market that rich people don't mind what they pay for it.
Well, see, that's one thing about solar technology that that's not talked about enough, in my opinion. I don't think solar technology works that well in England, because your weather is not as good as it is in, say, the Sierras or California.
My dad was actually a fairly early adopter, and he did get subsidies, and he did get a permanent lifetime. He gets paid 52 pence a unit that he puts into the grid.
Wow. He's doing good.
So that's about 70 cents.
Yeah, we're getting paid 4 cents out here in California.
So his panels were expensive because he was an early adopter. But his paid off in 8 years, and he's on the west coast of Wales. So mixed, not a lot of sun recently. But he was finding a reasonable production even on cloudy days. He was getting a good production. So yeah, I mean, it does depend where you put them, but I think
it depends on what hemisphere.
Worldwide, they're seen as an economical way of generating electricity.
They no longer are going to need them in Africa. They were thinking about loading up Africa with them, but with all the projects they have for power generation in local different countries.
Except that GDP basically equals or energy production, or vice versa. So throughout all of human history, every time we create a new source of energy, it just adds to the existing uses. The existing uses don't normally disappear. I know we were talking about peak oil consumption earlier, but if Africa wants to have an increased living standard where people actually have electricity in their homes and a refrigerator, and we could still get to I think if we're going to see increased quality of life for the poorer developing nations, they're going to want more power, more electricity.
Yep. That's another reason why I do shows on Africa. I see if Ethiopia is going to get enough power to power all of their every need of their country and sell the excess, that means that the price of power for those local countries, for one, you have infrastructure that's going to have to be built to transport that power. Yeah. And then you've got to do all the house installation stuff. So what they're doing is they're going to be developing. We're already in a developed world. They still need to build houses with electricity. And
you would have thought we're in the developed world.
Yeah.
Not everyone in America is yet, are they?
True that.
You look in the Appalachian regions, and you look at a lot of
look at Mississippi.
You look at the Wind River Reservation near us. That does not look like the developed world.
True that.
So there are millions of people in America. It would appear they're not even in the developing world, let alone the developed world. So we have a way to go, I think.
That's where everyone should be kind, helpful, and grateful.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because we could definitely change everything. Someone who has excess, give the excess away, or don't be greedy about it.
There we go. Do you want to pull up Chad's comment there?
Yeah.
So here's a few, and they're really worth it. The power output is really unbelievable. So, everything I've looked about it, people who've done their own installations and something, the return is really great. And having that independence, the off-grid, that's kind of reassuring, isn't it?
I imagine it would be.
Yeah. So, I mean, we would definitely consider it. With our electricity here, we're on a rural cooperative. We pay 6 cents.
You got it good.
Per kilowatt, which is about as low as anywhere in the US, I think.
I like the new wind power tech they have coming out.
Yeah, there's some greatly improved wind generators, isn't there?
Yep. Yeah, smaller ones for individual housing. Yeah, they've got a couple out there at 3 miles an hour of sustained wind. Yeah. They're getting 1,500 watts an hour. And if you know about atmospheres and different pressures of different atmospheres, if you're up 30 plus foot, you're in the third pressure of atmosphere. You're at a sustained 5 to a 10 mile an hour wind most of the time. That's why the tips of your trees will be moving and you won't feel no wind. It's a different pressures and different atmospheres. And so if you get like I said, you get one, day, night, actually when storms come in and there's it probably blows faster and you get more power.
I see Long Lid there saying he needs another battery. He'll have to go.
That's the tricky part.
Yeah, I've heard there are companies you can buy scrapped EVs. You can buy their batteries. So they might have lost 20-30% of their capacity, but still incredibly cheap. Second hand when the EV is scrapped. I think
there's a lot of
companies selling those.
A lot of the EVs are scrapped rather than repaired due to cost.
Oh yeah.
So you do have a good secondary market there.
For a lot of the Hyundais, I've seen articles where, because Hyundai don't keep any spare batteries in stock in the US.
Yeah.
If you do minor damage to the battery, they just write the whole car off.
Yep.
Because they say the cost to ship one battery costs more than the whole car's worth, which is just how the heck are they allowed to make cars in this country if they can't provide a major component at a reasonable price? They should say, okay, Hyundai, piss off. Go back flipping wherever you come from. Seriously. They should say, if you're going to do that, you can't sell cars in the US.
Well,
because there is a law, isn't there? The right to repair.
Yeah.
So that should be strengthened with the right to repair and the right to be supplied reasonably priced parts to repair with.
Well, there's a couple of things there. The government subsidies pushed an industry that's not ready or financially capable of subsistence on its own without that subsidy. And not only that, lithium mining is the most destructive mining to the environment.
That's why we've left it to China to destroy their land, and poison their population. That's why we've let China do it, I think, in my opinion. Whilst we develop other better, cleaner systems.
That's where I am hopeful towards a couple newer technologies that I think will offset usages of current power sources.
Yeah,
I think that'll be for the betterment of all. Again, I go back to I like in Japan's thought process on the 4+ what are they called, power plants for automotive, so that way you have choices of combustion engine, electric, hybrid.
Of course, you need a choice. If you're doing heavy towing over long distances, you're either going to need hydrogen with a decent network to refill, or you've got to go diesel.
Actually, funny enough, I did a show on this. Cummins Diesel quit making their diesel engines and have gone to a hydrogen hybrid.
Have they actually stopped making diesel engines?
They as their number one.
The number one product.
Yes, they're still making them, but they're not. It's not their number one push. The new push is the hydrogen biodiesel, and they've already installed several of them in 18-wheelers here in America, and that's the technology they're pushing, and that goes along with 2 of the 5 refineries changing from making gasoline to making biodiesel.
Right,
and that's why I kind of saw that one coming, because, when I found out, Shell's going to now not make car gas, but make biodiesel. Why? And I started asking questions years ago, and I discovered a lot of things. And I was like, oh, so we're changing to new engines. Oh, platinum. Oh, so another through the construction industry can lead you to a lot of financial knowledge before things are well known. Because anytime 40% of your fuel supplier stops making fuel, you should check into it. And no one knew that was happening.
Yeah, and the frightening thing is, there seems to be a lot of it is about control, isn't it? Controlling the population. If you can manipulate what fuel you're allowed to use, how much it costs,
and then there's
a lot of control there, isn't there?
And then they charge us to give the supplements to the companies to force us to use it. So we're getting slapped twice with this stupid stick.
Oh, Seth says there about Platinum Valcambi bar. Yeah, my favorite is the Pamp Suisse Lady Fortuna Platinum bar. I think is the prettiest platinum bar out there. Oh, Chad's got an interesting comment you just put up there. Over panel, low light, no problem. Yeah, that's exactly what my dad has found. Even on cloudy days, he was getting great generation.
That technology, they need to release the newer parts of the photovoltaic cell battery storage.
Yeah, I mean, I guess whilst silver is under $50, I can't see how it would be cost effective to start a whole new production system, because they've sort of really refined the existing way of doing solar panels.
Yeah,
and like Longlib just mentioned there, they've doubled the amount of silver because they've realized by skimping on the silver,
they're losing power,
dropping efficiency. So you just, it's not worth it for the reduced payback you get from the panel.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's going to be more expensive.
Yes, we sell junk silver. We sold actually quite a lot lately because the premiums have got down. It's about the lowest premium silver at the moment.
What is it? 19, 20?
It's just around $1 or $1.20 per ounce premium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That
so per ounce of silver content.
Yeah.
So it's pretty well. It's cheaper than a 1 ounce buffalo round per ounce of silver. And the dimes are as well at the moment. And dimes traditionally have always been a bit more expensive. But I don't think that's going to last long. I think that's just weak hands have been shaken out with this recent price rise. I think some people who bought in 2011 or even 1980 have been just dumping their silver out of frustration.
That's something. It's probably totally resource based. But America just made the largest land grab ever.
What have we grabbed?
We took possession of all of the seafloor of the North American continental plate.
Nice.
And it runs all the way up close to Japan and Russia. And the addition of that land mass, it was like 50% of our nation's land mass was just added. And I know it doesn't sound like much because it's under the water, but that includes the resources contained in that continental shelf land. So we have just acquired a whole bunch of new silver, gold, platinum, and all kinds of minerals by the largest land grab in our country's history.
Is it contested? Is it contested?
No, Russia said nothing. Russia had no problem with it. Yeah, because up there towards Alaska, that's where the shelf really comes close to their property. Yeah, and it pushed our ownership closer.
Well, they still presume Alaska is theirs.
No, they don't.
I thought Putin was still a bit pissed about Russia whatever so cheap all those decades ago.
And I think they'll sell us the other side of that peninsula here shortly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take another couple 100 miles on your side. How's that, buddy? No, Russia's doing just fine. They got more than enough. They're actually building the world's largest icebreaker, nuclear-powered icebreaker fleet, so they can keep the Northern Channel open year-round. Yeah. And once they do that, that strait where the Yemen people are blowing up ships, they're going to go back. They're going to go back to the Stone Ages because they ain't going to have no shipments. Because it'll be cheaper to go another route. They'll never see a ship again.
They're going to go back to the Stone Age if they keep messing around there. They're going to get blown away, aren't they?
That's what they're hoping for. It looks like. Yeah. And
aren't they? They're funded and provoked by Iran, aren't they? These Houthis.
Yep.
It's like Iran can't. Yeah. It's.
Well, it's our money. I think Biden gave them, $400 billion. So they're using our taxpayer dollar to blow up our ships and our ally ships.
So Chad's mentioned there, he has monocrystalline panels. Can you expand on that, Chad? Monocrystalline panels with cells on the back. So, so they work with the light on either side.
Yeah, this is a separate technology. You have the photovoltaic and then a not mono, but monocrystalline.
Okay.
I thought they were going mainly with the photovoltaic research and study.
Yeah.
Because there was some issue, and I don't recall because I'm no expert by any means, but there was some issue with the monocrystalline solar.
Well, we got some information there from Chad. Only 2 miles of Okan separate Russia from USA. Wow.
Yeah.
We have a border of Russia. That's a bit scary, isn't it?
Yeah, not really.
No. Too cold for anybody to care, is it?
Well, not only that, it's the oldest play in the book. The two biggest guys on the block, even though they're best friends, just show everyone they hate each other. So that way you get half the block on one side, half the block on the other side. So you between the two of you control the block.
Oh, okay. You think that was the whole Cold War or a big part of the Cold War as well?
Well, if you look at the step up of evolution, technological evolutions, That's
Well,
exactly
I mean,
what it looks
yeah,
like.
I mean that fits in, doesn't it? Montague Norman's speech way back in 1924,
Uh-huh.
when he says we'll allow the people to have their political parties, so they will expend their energy on matters of no importance, whilst we form an imperialism to rule the world. So yeah, it fits. Yeah,
Yeah,
that theory explains that. Yeah.
I told you, man. I'm
So,
not as stupid as
so really the
you
people that are
thought.
pulling the strings aren't loyal to any nation or
No,
continent or any,
no.
even any religion or any race. It's just all about control and power and getting more power.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's the most basic
Yeah.
human
So,
evil.
so people who think they're in the in crowd can just get chewed up and spat out at any moment once they're not
Sounds like
used
the
to
British
it.
royalty, huh?
Yeah. Hey, I like the Queen. I mean, she had her faults, but
Yeah, well, okay. The
she was
past
pretty
70 years,
consistent. I think she
but
was. I think she was the exception.
look
My
at
opinion.
the regal uh, social scene from 17 and 1800 during piracy,
Oh yeah.
and they did things like if they didn't like you socially, you got shipped to the Americas to go on a tobacco farm, never to be seen again or talked about at a party.
Well, yeah, and you had a 50% of dying whilst you were on the ship, waiting for the ship
Yeah,
to be filled up. Yeah, or
yeah.
on the voyage. Yeah, it was a 50%
That,
death penalty, and yeah.
that's the whole. I believe one of the main reasons of piracy was to go against the crown, and then they took and used it for what do you call it? Subscriptions, where they subscribe people and allowed them to attack only certain ships. Oh, there's another word for it. It's eluding me right now.
Oh, the pirates. I mean, Sir Francis Drake. He was a
Yeah,
pirate.
no, it was a
They,
pirate to one
they
country, to
got
another
an
country,
unofficial
a
license,
privateer.
and yeah, and
Privateer.
if they brought loads of treasure back, they were knighted, and if they failed, they were executed as a criminal. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Just depended if they were successful or not. Yeah.
And actually, I think there was this one guy. I don't know who it was. He turned himself in North Carolina, and then was hung as a pirate because he accidentally pirated an English ship instead of a Spanish ship,
Oh no.
and they didn't give him forgiveness, and they hung him. Who was
he,
that?
he got his flags mixed up. Oh dear.
Yeah, so it's a game that's been played by the upper leaders of generations. That's why you see family power.
Yeah.
Did you see family power for 500-600 years? Yeah. Okay. You got to watch out for those guys. It's just like anything, any organization you make, any government you make, it only takes an amount of time for the corruption to come in and take control or power, kind of sort of like what we have now. It's only took 240 years. Corruption keeps in. So if you have one family in charge for over that amount of time,
Yeah.
yeah, they're not accountable as much so as the government. So you can only imagine their crimes.
No, so we ideally we don't want that situation to occur again, do we?
Nope.
Yeah.
That's why I'm preaching the exact opposite, and spread the wealth. Become wealthy by making others wealthy.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, if you have what you need, you're rich, aren't you?
And if you can sleep at night.
It's discerning to what you want and what you need.
Some people put too much on happiness.
Yeah. I don't know. I like happiness.
I like happiness too, but what is happiness? You comparing it to the Rothschilds?
Happiness is taking my dogs for a walk. Happiness when I come down in the morning, my Bernese mountain dog bounces up and down because he's so happy to see me. That's happiness.
Exactly. You know, it's all an individual thing. Some of those people see happiness as controlling other human beings, and that is a sickness.
Well, it's a sick. No, yeah, you're right. It's not, doesn't give them happiness, but it obviously it satisfies something in their brain.
Yes, psychotic.
Narcissistic. Yeah.
Narcissism. It's a psychotic personality trait of Actually, I used to tell people when I was like a partier, they'd be like, Neil, what are you going to dress up for as Halloween this year? Because I didn't like dressing up, I told them, hey, I'm going to dress up like a psychopathic killer. And if you know anything about it, a psychopathic killer looks like a normal human being. So I'd come to the party as my work man. I'd come to the party looking like a work guy, like I would come to work. They're like, I thought you were going to dress up. I'm like, yeah, I'm like a psychopathic killer, man. I look like a normal person.
You're hilarious, you are.
I didn't mean to use spit up your tea. Yeah, I just have a unique way to look at life.
Yeah, pursuit of happiness. Isn't that in the Constitution?
Yep, guaranteed.
Yeah.
And that's why I think even though I do say, if you're going to throw your vote away, throw it my way, Neil Hahn for President of the United States 2024. Other than getting a vote for myself, I like the attitude of the party that's not in power now of wanting to restore more of the legal part of living to states rather than to the federal government, because that is actually a multifold benefit, because you can cut federal agencies, you can cut spending, and you get more localized power, which I did a video on Norway, and it wasn't Africa, and it was off beaten path, but it actually applies right now. More Norwegians are wealthy because of their landscape, but the principle behind their wealth is localized power, because they don't have roads going to their towns.
And I think I was reading a month or two ago about Norway when they became incredibly powerful shipbuilders.
Yeah,
there was a share in that, and the whole community shared.
Yes,
in the benefits.
Yes, it's shared.
And then
shared wealth, communal.
Their forestry, they plant on 100-year cycle.
Yep. No, so they had it going on.
They are harvesting trees that their great grandparents planted,
and not only that.
And then when they came into the natural gas and oil, they didn't blow it. I mean, in Britain, we had Margaret Thatcher was in power, and she gave it away basically as tax cuts to the rich people. Whereas Norway, they reinvested all of their gains, and their sovereign wealth fund owns 1% of the whole world's stock markets.
That's because of the thought process, because of the way they were forced to live.
They wanted to preserve that wealth, not squander it.
Well, they had that thought process because they have individual local power and wealth. They didn't have an easy route for a national control. So every town had its own millionaire group. And if you keep, and it goes along with economics, if you keep money locally, the local area increases its value. And that because of their environment and they're not in the ease to get to town to town, that should
be the natural cycle that people, entrepreneurs and businessmen with integrity, build up businesses, employ people, build up wealth, and then they spend it out in their community.
Yeah.
And I've heard an interesting phrase, and I ponder it frequently, and it goes like this: is it a sin to be rich? Probably not. Is it a sin to die rich? Probably. That's an interesting point, isn't it? Because if you just stashed up loads and loads of wealth and then you die, what's the point in that? You know, when you're dead, you cease to exist on this planet, and whatever your belief system is, you cease to exist on this planet. You have no interaction with this planet anymore.
How do you like that?
I quite like that. You know, if one is fortunate enough to build up wealth, you need to plan how to distribute that for good of your community.
I like the picture I have up. A little knowledge of science makes you an atheist. An in-depth knowledge of science makes you a believer in God. I love that saying. That's obviously from Louis Pasteur.
I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, he's obviously a founder of microbiology.
And
that's his statement.
Although I'm not so keen on pasteurized products.
Well, no, but I like that saying. A little bit of knowledge of science makes you an atheist, and in-depth knowledge makes you a believer.
Yeah.
Because as I always say, the more you know, the less you know, because every time
Well,
you
the
learn
more
something,
you know, you should realize there's more that you need to know.
yeah, for every question answered, 20 more are asked.
Yeah.
So are you learning more or learning that you know less? What is true intelligence?
Oh, can you put up Chad's comment there before it pops off the screen?
This
I
one right
would
here.
love to join a new to reset, redo. Yeah, I've often thought when you see some of this legal stuff, it's like, is it deliberately written that way? So
Yes.
you have to be a lawyer to even vaguely
Yes.
understand it. I mean, is the tax code so complicated that no one can ever comply with it?
Exactly. And that's why I tell people to this day, if you're starting a company, get a tax lawyer, not a CPA, because a
Right.
tax lawyer and your conversations are protected under lawyer-client confidentiality. And the way
Yeah.
the IRS gets you on the confusion and the overlapping tax laws is by having a CPA want to save his ass and turn you in so his other 20 clients could stay in business and he still make money and you're the one that goes to jail. So if you get a tax lawyer under the current tax scheme, you won't get messed with unless you are actually laundering money.
So I do like that comment, Chad, and I think, well, I don't think that's going to happen, but we can
No.
create it in our own environment, our own
Local communities.
ground up. It's. I think the system is too big and too clunky and too.
How's it going, broke?
So I think, yeah, I think I like that thought
And
pattern,
that
and
could
and in a way that is the American dream, isn't it?
yeah, but we need less centralized control.
Absolutely, we need to go back to these United
Localized.
States. Yeah,
That's why you'd be like, oh, that's the neighbor boy down the road. His daddy's going to take care of him. You don't need to call the cops. And then you'd hear him screaming because his daddy took him out the woodshed and beat his ass for doing something wrong, and he never did it again. And he doesn't have a police record.
yeah. I mean, I must admit, rural America, I mean, definitely where we live. I had a car accident early last year. I rolled my Yukon whilst pulling a big trailer with a couple of safes on it. And I ended up pointing the other way, the Yukon on its side in a snowdrift, and the sheriff and people turn up. And all they wanted to do was make everybody safe, get the mess cleaned up, get me home safe. That was all. That was that was it. Now, if I'd done that in England, I would have had a fine for this, a ticket for that. I would have had a court appearance for this. They would have looked at everything possible that I might have done wrong.
Yeah, to make money off of it.
Here, the way the sheriffs and the police act, they just want to make sure everybody's safe, everything gets sorted out, job done. And I think that's the beauty of a smaller community where you've got constitutional believing sheriffs and just honest, and a community where people know everybody knows everybody to a certain extent. So
that's why you get to know your neighbors.
In a big city or a big urban area, that seems to break down.
Yep, it does.
And it's part of the plan as well, isn't it? The alienation is part of the plan to keep the people.
You don't have a Democratic Party if you don't have them all congealed into a small area where they give away all of their rights of freedoms. And then you give away power because the congealedness of all the humans in a small area. Those are the only areas that are Democrat. Areas where you're open out in the small towns, most of them are Republicans because they like that lifestyle. And that is actually
I mean, and I would say what the Republican Party used to be, I don't think it is that anymore, in my opinion. I think it's morphed into something ugly. I don't think it is old school conservatism. I don't think it is old school. It's become much more interested in promoting the cause of the billionaires and the corporations.
Yep.
At whatever cost to the people.
That's from Reagan onward, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's deteriorated. And so is the Democratic Party. There's nothing democratic about it. I mean, what a stupid name, the fascist implementation of some crazy ideology on, enforcing stupidity on people.
That's a bad name for a party, though.
There is a bad. It doesn't really roll off the tongue, does it? So like, I guess a better person would be any sane adult in the room would be a better That would be a good name for a party, wouldn't it?
Well, see, there's this theory out there that plays out, and I did a video on this. It's called and it's an actual theory, a studied, processed out, thought out theory. It's called the theory of stupidity. And what happens, and it's a proven thing. The gentleman, it's like Bonheimer, I think, back in 1944, 45, he wrote the Bonheimer letters. You know about him?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the theory of stupidity kicks in when you have too many people congealed into a small area.
They go stupid.
It gets more easy to go stupid or to make them go stupid.
I like it. You're circling back round. I was pondering, and I've said it a few times. It's like in England, the village, there'd always be a village idiot.
Yes.
Now the village seems to be full of idiots.
Yes. That's because you put more people in it. You overloaded it. So everyone became the Bonheimer's theory of stupidity kicks in.
Do you think part of it is an abdication of responsibility?
Yes.
And
100%.
an insatiable demand of rights without realizing rights should come with responsibilities?
No, thinking rights come with paying taxes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm finding in this neighborhood in California. People don't want to get outside and clean up the sidewalk, pick up trash in front of their house from cars that drove by because the street sweeper's coming by, and I pay taxes for that. Yeah. We've diverted our personal responsibilities over to a taxpayer system. Yeah.
So we've abdicated.
That's accepted out here. I don't accept it, and that's why I've had the ice cream man stop on this block. Him and his wife. It's an older Indian guy and his wife. He's got a white beard, got a turban on. I think he's a Sikh. But him and his wife stopped by and like graciously thanked me, saying this is the nicest block we've seen. No weeds growing up in the road and the cracks. No trash. All the leaves are picked up in front of all the houses. And it takes me time to do that. And I'm the only one that does that, and apparently the only one in this town, because I do not accept the fact that, the street sweeper comes on the third Wednesday of the month. That'll make it all look nice.
So he'll do it all. Okay. And that's been proven, isn't it? That
it's the theory of stupidity.
When there's trash lying about, it attracts more trash. People see trash.
Yes, just add to 100%. And I learned that at the Department of, what was that? Not department, it was the Florida Department of Law Enforcement back in 1989. I went there to learn about law enforcement, obviously. And some things that you can deter crime is don't have a trashy neighborhood. Have a clean line of sight on your sidewalks for blocks on end and on the road and in your alleys. And those small things, a little light here or there, those are the biggest detractors of crime out there.
I must admit, I picked that up from my wife because she told me stories. Her dad would always do that if they were out and he saw trash. So I picked that up. I tend to do that now when I'm out walking the dogs. Even if it's just a tiny bit of plastic somewhere, I'll pick it up.
Yeah, I'm always out in the road.
Yeah.
If I see something, I stop, pick it up. And it's gotten to where I've lived in the same 2 blocks for like 22 years. So the only people that don't know me just moved in. Everyone else said, oh, yeah, that's Neil. I've got people that made me a T-shirt, Neilberhood Watch.
Yeah.
I'm not the neighborhood watch. I'm Neilberhood Watch. Because if anything goes wrong, you call me. I'm right there. I get there before the cops by several minutes. Yeah. And usually have it taken care of before the cops even show up. And I've gotten this neighborhood under control because I actually practice what I preach. I do what I can where I'm at while I'm there. And I live the life I want to live by making the life I want to live. I want to live in a clean neighborhood. I want to live in a crime-free neighborhood. So I make it that way.
You do what you can to,
That's exactly, and I live by that. And I do it. And that's, I also, when it comes to saying I buy silver, platinum, crystallized osmium, you're talking to a man here, Ian, he'll tell you, I buy all 3. I don't buy gold. I don't buy copper. I buy silver, platinum, crystallized osmium. And that's what I tell people to buy. I actually buy it. Anyhow, sorry about that little rant.
No. it's
well, I've been told I'm intimidating.
Inspiring and encouraging.
I've been told in this neighborhood I'm intimidating, and I'm only 145 pounds. People are like, dude. Yeah, people run when you come by. If they run, they're doing something wrong. That's all I got to say, because I'm a nice guy. Unless you're doing something wrong, then I'm not a nice guy. I'm kind, helpful, grateful, but I carry a big stick. Not that a literal stick, but I mean, I didn't just come out of grade school. Yeah, I even clean up bird crap on the road. I'll take some Clorox out there and water and clean it up. So, because I don't believe in. Man, we are so nasty as people. If you don't clean up the sidewalks, you carry that stuff into your house.
Yeah.
You know, and if there's bird poop, cat piss that you don't see at night that goes on, dog piss, on special occasions, human piss, and you don't see it when it dries up, and you walk over that stuff and you carry it in your house. You come to my neighborhood, and one house on each side of me and my house, pressure wash sidewalk at least twice a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember my mum would tell me stories. She grew up in Leeds, so a big industrial city in the north of England. The terraced houses would be about 14 feet wide. That would be the width of the house. And then they'd have a pavement. Every house would scrub, not just their front step, they would scrub the pavement.
Yeah. I've pressure washed part of the street because there's too much grease stain and shit stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm considered a weird guy out here. I consider myself the only true American out here because of everyone else. And I don't own. I am shocked that the owners of these $multi-$100,000 homes
they take doing
this.
Yeah.
Take a little pride in your investment. Lets you know how serious they are about their investments.
Yeah.
You know, it's a whole mindset. And we've gotten complacent even in our mindset. And that's why a lot of people are going to lose everything because of complacency.
Yeah.
And it's 40 years of good times, and that was manipulated. But,
yeah,
you know, you got to be real and understand what's happening. Because complacency kills is no truer story. Or saying, excuse me.
So, yeah, I guess on that note, everybody, let's do what we can to improve our immediate environment and work upwards from there.
Yeah, just be kind, helpful, and grateful. It doesn't take much, man. It's that a smile, opening a door for someone could change a guy's mood from being pissed off at work and not expecting one person to be nice to him because no one was. And then all of a sudden, before he gets home, he stops at the store. Someone's nice to him. And it changes his whole attitude when he gets home to his kids. That's how simple it is. Opening a door, saying hi, smiling. It's not a hard thing to do. The simplest of things we don't naturally do anymore. And it's that easy to change.
So do you think there was a specific shift that broke down society? Or is this...
Yeah, it was over time, but
it's been a gradual...
It's been gradual. If you take it to death by 1,000 cuts.
Right, so it wasn't noticed particularly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Until it's almost too late. And then you've got the theory of stupidity. If it's death by 1,000 cuts, the theory of stupidity kicks in if you bunch all these people together and you got all these things working. It's like a multi-pronged torpedo, hurricane, earthquake. and they've got everyone baffungled to thinking that everything's cool.
Right.
You know? And that's where I lose my mind. I look around and go, oh my God.
And are you in a pretty urban area?
I am in the first city in America to claim bankruptcy. I had to be a cop in this neighborhood because we literally had no cops.
They laid them all off?
Yeah, when we came out. No, they had 8 to keep up the administrative work to where that they wouldn't totally be screwed. You know, people still needed their retirement and, you know, taxes still come in and stuff. Even though we came out of bankruptcy worse than we went in. But we were down where, it was horrible. And one city council person came up with $375,000 all of a sudden at the same time as well. But that's another story. And we went bankrupt. I had a Japanese and a French newspaper come over from Japan and France, actually interviewed me during that time because we made world news going bankrupt in America. And I actually helped start the Neighborhood Watch. And I was physically out there doing a thing, motivating all these people. And we got the Neighborhood Watch this town, got a problem property ordinance town. I've done a lot for this town trying to get it together.
Yeah.
And it's just, if the people don't pick up on it, the politicians will crap you out. That's all I can say. And the people don't pick up on it. They haven't. They don't get it. They're not trying. They're complacent, and they screwed because of it.
So, do you think one of the big problems is our politicians have forgotten that they're supposed to be public servants?
Oh no, that's not even a thing out here, bro. It's a status symbol.
Right.
It's not a job. It's a status symbol, and they all want to be queen and king, even if it's of a little area. They want that power. It's not for service at all. So that answers your question right there. That's part of the problem.
I am really blessed to live in rural Idaho, for sure.
You live in a wealthy area. They won't allow that type stuff.
It is, but there is a lot of poverty here. I've got a friend who helps out a lot with food insecure families, and he knows at least 75 families that can't afford to eat properly.
That's where the wealthier need to get step up again. Be kind, helpful, grateful, prep for your families. If you
exactly,
and you'll be there. You'll be there when we are millionaires and multimillionaires coming up on billionaires. Ain't gonna be no hungry people in the counties we live in.
That's a good comment there from Jeff Rowe. Parents no longer raise their children. Social media does. Yeah.
Well, not only that, taxpayer-funded sources do, and we all know how that works out. Public schools.
And I'm sure most of the teachers are actually very dedicated. I don't think they get paid very well, but the doctrine and the top-down control is horrific from what I've heard about the US so-called education system. It's not designed to create innovators and thinkers and craftsmen and craftswomen.
I have had that conversation with a friend of mine. He's actually smarter than I am. He graduated magna cum laude at MIT. Be quiet, Gandalf. He graduated magna cum laude at MIT. He's a real smart guy. And we talk about this stuff. Of course, he's got other issues that when you're smart, it's a give and take.
Yeah.
Everything balances out. Trust me. In life, everything balances out.
So circling back round to the metals and precious metals, I often talk to people and saying that the test is going to come for us who are stackers. The test is going to come. What will we do when our purchasing power is multiplied 10 times, 50 times? However the dust settles, when the precious metals given accounting for the currency debasement, what will we do with that newfound purchasing power? The choices we'll have that we've never had before.
I would choose for everyone not greed, but security. And by security, the best thing, in my personal opinion, and I've thought of this a lot of times because I will come into a lot of money. And what I would want to do and what I'm going to do is, since houses, I have a feeling, is going to be pretty cheap, I plan on buying a couple houses, fixing them totally up, paying them off, the money I have, and then renting them out for half the value.
Right.
That's
half
what
the market.
Yes. That's what I plan on doing.
We're sort of doing that already, actually. We've got over 30 years, I managed to get a few houses in England, and a lot of those, we rent them way below.
And that's how it should be. Rent. You should be financially set enough, not with the quote unquote modern thinking of rich, meaning you're in debt over your butthole, but you have
I mean, the way I looked at it was a multi-decade decision that as long as it broke even, at some point there'll be capital gain in the property. That if I need that when I'm older, I can cash that in, and if I don't, I can just carry on renting it out.
And the people that are there will most likely take better care of it than if you were charging more.
They absolutely do. We have one tenant been in the same house 13 years. She moved in as a very young single mother. I had about 30 or 40 people responded to an advert to rent the house. And somehow I just knew I had to rent it to this young woman who had no job and a young baby. It's like, and she has looked after the house.
That's, good comes back.
Yeah.
And if you have money, like you were saying, when you come into this new money,
Yeah.
make sure you do good with it because it'll stick
Yeah.
around. Think generational wealth. When you
Yeah.
pay off a house that you're not living in, hey, what's up, Jake? And you fix it up, it's good for 5 years without any serious work needing to be done easy.
Yeah.
And if it's already paid off and you go for half rent, you're helping someone else who can help
Yeah.
someone else. And then you think, not psychologically, if you think philosophically, it's
Yeah.
like having a flat lake and you throw either a stone of negativity or positivity. It ripples outward. And if you
Yeah.
had 1,000 people throwing stones of positivity, you would have a great, great wave action of positivity. And that would be awesome. And all it would take is when you come in this money, you know, just think about others, and also the generational wealth. When it's paid off, all you got to do is fix up. Right now, when I was a kid, inheriting a house from a parent was a thing.
Yeah.
It's not now.
No, because some people in their 70s or 80s have got a mortgage. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
But that's the plan. That's the plan, isn't it? I mean,
if you pay a house off, don't use it as a credit card. That's how they steal it from you.
Exactly, and they continually steal. And that was the pattern, wasn't it? Refinance. So you only ever pay interest. You never pay the principal down. Yeah.
And that's the thing. You pay off when you have this extra money. You pay off your house. You take care of yourself. You make sure you're fine. Don't go buy a brand new Lambo because you can. I mean, that's just foolishness. It's not needed. Buy a second house, fix it up, pay it off, rent it off for half price. It goes back to the theory of a positive stone or negative stone. And the more people that are positive, the more positive in a certain aspect, perception truly is reality. If we all perceive negativity, a theory, the Bonheimer's theory of stupidity will kick in. If we all are more positive, you have totally different results, and they are very much joyful. And hi, what's up, Anti? And we would all benefit from them. Let's try something new.
Yeah.
Let's try something new.
That's the antidote, isn't it, to the system?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the antidote. Yeah.
So if this metals thing blows up and you guys are all multimillionaires and millionaires, remember what it's like being poor and change that for someone else, because that's how you make change you can believe in.
Yeah.
That child, you want to know why we don't have any Mozarts or Michelangelos? When's the last, real talent been around?
I can name one.
Who?
The Edgar Roos.
What's he do?
He made the osmium violin.
Oh.
No, seriously, his craftsmanship. He's the world's finest lutherian.
Oh, those things are like
not only that, he spent 32 months making it. Now, a few people criticized it because they saw it as a waste and it's extravagant, but it's a thing of beauty. It played beautifully. And I've never been interested in that sort of stuff, but I had the job of looking after it for a week last summer, and I got to see it again at the Osmium Symposium, and it was like meeting an old friend. There's something about the pursuit of excellence in craftsmanship that is inspiring and uplifting, that somebody will bother to make something unique and beautiful.
Yep. And that comes,
So I would class Edgar Roos and what he creates in the artistic greats of all time. He has a great YouTube channel. You can see the whole process of envisioning and planning and then making the violin. He has a great channel.
Maybe we can get someone to post this channel if you don't mind. Every one of you is a moderator. I'm sure it won't be a problem.
Yeah, Edgar Roos, Russ. So that's his channel name. I'm pretty certain. Edgar Roos.
Quiet, Gandalf. Sorry about that. Kitty got going crazy.
So yeah, I think I'm going to have to sign off. let's get
right on, brother. I appreciate you
yeah.
showing up. I appreciate the conversation. Before you leave,
yes, Neil,
I want to know what specials you're offering for your company. And,
specials. We're always offering specials. What have we got that's really good? We've got some 10-ounce Royal Canadian Mint bars, $9.99, $4.95, $1.50 premium. So that's around or actually below the wholesale price. We've got Buffalo Rounds, $1.39. We've got 90% dimes and quarters from $1 premium per ounce. We've got, what's the best sovereign coin? We've got King Charles 2023 Britannias, $2.50. We still got some 2023 Maples, $2.80. You name it. We've got it or can get it.
And what about osmium? Do you have any specials there?
Osmium.
I put you on the right place.
We've got any specials because it's so freaking scarce. It's hard to discount it too much. I mean, the
my crowd.
Well, the discount we do give, we pay the import, shipping, and insurance, and pay the shipping and insurance, shipping it out in the US.
There you go.
So that actually adds up to quite a discount than if you buy it direct, you'll be paying a fair whack, and then you can do a foreign transaction wire as well, which gets a bit expensive.
Well, it helps that you're the only distributor here in America.
Yeah, I mean, we interestingly, so we've got a friend who's starting in Texas. We've got an institute starting in Colorado and New Mexico, and hopefully in Arkansas. So there will be other states supplying.
You guys need to buy your silver, platinum, and crystallized osmium as soon as you can.
Yeah, I think osmium is going to do as well as silver. I have a hard time, what we personally try to modestly increase our holdings. I swing between silver and osmium. At the moment, I think osmium wins. So we're probably selling a little bit of silver down and buying more osmium. The main reason is, we spoke earlier, you can make beautiful things with it and make a bigger margin on those.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what I love about that whole process. And it's a precious metals process. It's not anything not precious metals.
Jake's Custom Parts asks, where in Texas? College Station, which I think is between Dallas and Houston. My geography of Texas is not very good, but it's College Station.
Jake would know. He's in Conroe.
Right. So yeah, actually, my friend Barry, he's doing that. He's coming to visit this week, actually. So
excellent. How would he feel about a live stream?
Sorry?
How would he feel about a live stream? You two together with a live stream talking about what he's doing.
I think it would be good. He's sort of asking me how to market it, and I said YouTube is just amazing. You just need to talk about the stuff, show the stuff. That's what it's all about. I think it's incredibly effective.
We got to stay in touch. Even if I get this job, I should be home by. It's only 7 miles up the road. I should be home by 4 or 5, so I should be able to do a live stream by 6.
Well, I'm sure he'll be available. You can.
Well,
in fact, Barry was the first person to buy osmium from us.
Right on.
He was the first sale we made.
That's nice to know.
He bought that. I think he came to buy gold, and he ended up buying osmium.
That would be way before the October Silver Symposium then.
Oh yeah, this was, oh my gosh, when was it? This was 2020. Is it 2022? It was a long time ago. Anyway, might have been early 2023.
Right on. All right, well, I'll let you go. I appreciate you coming in, and
I appreciate you, Neil. And yeah, the more I get to know you, the more I like you. There you go.
well, we both have similar backgrounds.
Yeah, and similar heritage. Yeah, you hail from
And
the same
that
island.
as well.
Yeah.
Well, there is one difference. Hold on a second here. Hold on
Okay.
a second. You got to hang out for this one. This is going to be kind of, it's a humorous thing. I don't want you to take it any other way than that.
Okay.
Let me,
Do I need to brace myself?
Second. Yep, you got to brace yourself. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. One difference is I'm sorry. I got hair.
I'm pre-laughing just to make sure I make
you didn't see it? Oh, you should see it on the video soon.
You're putting something up on screen, are you?
Yeah, I took off my my picture that I had and I showed a live screen and I pulled on my hair. Now if I had my you have German heritage as well as English, right?
Sorry?
You have German heritage as well as English?
Do you know what? I think so. I mean, Everard is my family name. Could be Eberhard. It could be an anglicized version of the German. I did actually love my visit to Bavaria. I did feel really at home there. So who knows?
The reason why I ask is my father, because you take after the genes of your mother. My father was German.
Okay.
His father came from the Black Hills.
Right.
So, and he had the bald spot that grew out. And me and my brother were always concerned as kids because at age 23, my dad was like you are now.
Yeah, but it goes down the maternal line, not the paternal.
Exactly. And my grandfather died at age 99 with a full head of hair.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I take after the Scottish side instead of the German side. Apparently, you took out the genes from the German side.
I got used to it pretty early on. My hair started really going thin when I was about 14, 15.
The only thing I'd be upset about, and this is only because I'm a weird guy, is you can't do mohawks. I was actually thinking, because I watched another what is it called, documentary on Jake McNeese. I don't know if anyone knows who that is. I'm actually very fond of that guy. He's the World War II guy.
But your brain does work better with less. Your brain runs cooler without hair on top, so it functions better. So it helps me keep up.
I found not working and staying inside does the same thing. That wasn't by choice. What's up, BK? Yeah, I've stayed inside. So and actually, when I'm out at work, I wear a hard hat. So I got
but Bavaria is a beautiful place. So the Osmium Institute have just moved into their new headquarters in Murnau and Staffelsee. It's absolutely incredible mountains, very similar to the Rockies here, except you've got a lot more rolling green meadows.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
It is incredible.
And one thing of history I like about that is somewhere around there, the 7th Legion ended up disappearing.
Really? The Roman?
Yeah, I think it was the 7th Legion.
Do you think they just quit and went native?
Yeah, okay. No, I think the natives got tired of them and made them leave the world. Yeah, there was no survivors. The whole Legion got wiped out. To this day, they're still trying to find the exact battle site because there was no survivors on the Roman side to report back where the battle was.
Wow.
But they lost the whole Legion due to the Vikings or the
careless.
Barbarians or whatever. Whatever.
That was very careless of them.
Very much so. They shouldn't have pissed off the Vikings or barbarians. They shouldn't have pissed off the Germans. Yeah. Serves them right. But yeah, it was just somewhere they don't know. Like I said, they don't know where the battle was because there was no survivors.
So yeah, if anybody's planning a trip, the Osmium Institute will make you very welcome.
And it is beautiful over there.
It is. I'm hoping to have a reason to go visit, or I'll have to create a reason to go visit again.
Well, now I have a reason to stay away from Scotland. Statute of limitations and all.
Oh well, you're not allowed. Well, there is no limitations. I don't think.
That's what I'm saying. I got to stay away from Scotland now.
They want their brick. tile back.
MI6 is watching this video right now, coming to get me.
There's probably a gap in the floor, and they filled it with a modern brick. And it's
probably. Yeah, glazing. They probably, yeah. I'm sure it's no big deal at all. As a matter of fact, I know the only piece they actually didn't cover over, because 12 and 13 pieces were actually internal sides of walls where you could actually see like bombardier type damage to the castle that they were repairing. So it was like a 10 to 12 foot thick wall, towards the center. I figured was the oldest stuff, so that's what I took. So it definitely would be covered up. The only piece that wasn't covered up was the piece that was in a plastic bag, and it was marked was it 1646 or something like that, kitchen floor. I was like, oh, that's a nice one. If you can, you do, and I did. So what the hell, right?
Anyway, you were going to show a picture when I can.
Actually, it's in Alabama. When I go down there to build a lightning crystal box, that's my storage trailer's down there. I'll ask Steve where it's at.
So where's the picture you're going to put up?
Picture. Oh, you didn't see?
No.
Okay, hold on a second here. Okay, do you see what's my background look like?
I can only see me on the screen.
Oh, well, that's the problem. I got you on solo.
There you go.
Okay, you didn't see it. Okay.
No.
One main difference between you and I, Ian. I'm gonna do this again, Gerald, so you can freak out. I got hair. That's what I did. I'm sorry I had you on solo layout and you missed it the first time.
You do look very Scottish when you do that.
Yeah, I'm definitely Scottish.
Okay, I'm going to sign off.
Right on. You have a good evening, my brother.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Neil.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Anyone else want to hop up on panel? Yeah, Ian's a good guy. If you guys want any precious metal, he is one of the cheapest. As far as price goes, there's other considerations you got to consider in when people give you the price. Do they include insurance, or is that on top of cost? What is the shipping like? What's the packaging like? Basically establishing a relationship with a person who you're buying the precious metals from is very important, and that's very feasible with Ian, because he's on Long Live Coins, a few other shows, my show, where you guys can actually come up and talk to him. Well, you can't do that on their shows. You can do that on my show, where, if you wanted to come up on panel, you could actually talk with him virtually face to face. So that's a good relationship establishing measure. So, and you can determine the honesty factor of the person too. I don't know. He might not be the 100% cheapest, but he is very, very inexpensive over spot. I think you'd be surprised, actually. Yes, it is, VK. And it's like, what is it? It's 2.2, actually. You get, if you trade gold for platinum, you should get 2 full ounces of platinum with a 1/10 ounce on top of that. And that's going to change within the next year or two. A couple of years, 2 years, within 2 years. A lot of new and different things are happening. Ooh, that was a good hit. They're happening in South Africa, and they are the largest and major supplier of platinum on this planet at this time in history. And their government just lost power after 30 years of running status quo, which got them into the problems that they're in. And they had to make concessions with other political parties. And one of those concessions is going to reverse their monetary losses in their precious metals industry, for which used to be a large part of the revenue for that country. And that's the first time this has happened in 30 years down in South Africa. Actually, the party that they had to make concessions with probably would have never won power on their own, which even makes it more of a unique circumstance that, but anyhow, because of that. Jake, I am not 100% sure. I just spoke with Ian, obviously, as you knew, and I had mentioned having a live stream with the gentleman who is going to be opening up that store at College Station. So I will be staying in touch with Ian, and if I get that job this week, it'll be probably a 6 o'clock stream, Pacific Standard Time, and I will have that gentleman on with Ian, so you'll be able to get the information directly from him. Yeah, I'm unsure, Jake. I just gave you everything I know as of right now. Oh, I'm sure he's going to be selling BMs too, unless he's operating out of his house, an online business only, which actually wouldn't be sensical because you need to show it. So I imagine it would be a coin shop, just based off of deductive reasoning and logic. I'd say it's probably the guy's going to open up a coin shop or already has a coin shop or some sort of a jewelry shop or something like that, where you can have a store where he has store face where you can present it. Yeah, tell us about that. Come up here, Jake. Get your ass up here. It's pinned to the top. Tell me about that storm. And so it took him north after it went over the Yucatan Peninsula. Yeah, it's a Silverwood Blues. It's a substation here in America of the Osmium Institute. There's going to be one. I actually said I think there's like 3 of them opening up. One of them in Texas, one of them in Arkansas, and somewhere else. I don't recall exactly which one. You know, let me go ahead and hold on, sir. See if I can help you guys out here. All right, let's see here. Go to.
What's up?
What's up, my buddy? Hold on a second. I'm over here. Go share screen. Share screen. Here we go. There we go. I don't know. Let me see if you guys can see this. Yeah, okay, you can see it. It says storm surge of 3 to 6 feet. Highest wind gust of 60 to 80. Total rainfall is 1 to 2 inches. Worst conditions will be Sunday at 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. Monday. So you're looking at what? Class 1 hurricane?
Yeah, so far. Maybe it hits 2, but it'll be at least a 1 coming on board.
So the Yucatan Peninsula slowed it down big time. Or powered it down, shall I say, going over landfall. I'm looking for a video. If you see the screens, here we go.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to say. I've been through a few hurricanes, and I don't think this one's going to blow over as fast as they think it will, because it's only a Hurricane 1. I've seen Cat 5s roll in and take 2 days to fucking pass over. So I don't believe the news. I've been around the block long enough to know that those guys don't know shit.
Looks like at Rockport, Texas, they're getting secured up with some metal decking, metal siding over their glass and sandbags.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, the South Padre is down there near Corpus, but it's going to come up kind of close to Houston. But the worst part of it is, it looks like it's going to come ashore a little bit west, and then it's going to hook around over Houston. It'll be right over our house, probably about 70, 80. Yeah, about 70, 80 mile an hour constant wind for about 12 hours before it blows over. So
make sure all those limbs are cool.
It's going to get fucked up real quick, but that's all right. I'm sure the power will go out, but we got a generator, food, guns, pizza, beer.
Pull it out to the garage tonight.
No, I got the generator out back already. Everything's already ready to go.
Yeah, I figured you would.
Shit,
All
yeah.
you need now is real quick build that pizza oven, so that way you have a cooking source.
I got cooking sources, brother.
I
All I gotta
know.
do is hook up the oven, plug it in, fire in the hole.
Yeah, I'm just trying to push you on the pizza oven. That's all. You know me.
Yeah, maybe at the ranch sometime, but not here.
And that's the that's the answer I get from you every time.
Yeah, I ain't doing shit to this house. When the shit blows off and it goes crazy, I'm leaving this fucker. I'm going to the ranch.
Well,
They can keep this house.
I hope that every hurricane that comes down this year runs around the same path and goes over the Yucatan Peninsula.
Yeah, the wind's starting to pick up. We already had a first band of rain about an hour ago. So where the next one comes, it's going to be real close to start raining pretty heavy in the next hour, hour and a half.
Turbojet pizza oven. Gerald's onto an idea, brother.
Tell Gerald I'm on a fixed income.
Hey, Gerald, he says he's taking donations. Oh, is that not what you meant? I'm sorry, I misheard you, Jake.
So I tell people stack pizza so I can barter silver for it.
I totally got some other definition out of what you said. My bad.
Yeah, it'll be all right. Unfortunately, the last 6 or 8 months, we've had power issues, which Neil knows about. We've had transformers pop for no fucking reason. Some ass clowns pretending to be electrical engineers out by the main highway, dropping lines, fucking up shit. We've had power drop 3 or 4 times for no reason. So I can imagine a little wind and a leaf's going to blow and knock down 10 poles, and we'll be out of power for a few days, which is fine. I got all my shit set up. I ain't worried. We got everything.
That's the great thing about being prepared. Also, fictitiously and maliciously called a prepper. I would like to be called someone who has common sense and sees the reality of situations. Hurricanes come. Our infrastructure, it's a little weak, needs a lot of work. So, to have stuff ready just makes common sense to me, because if you look around, you can see the issues. So just use common sense and know they're going to come and carry other people through with you, if you can.
Yeah. Too bad I didn't get on an hour ago. My neighbor's 2 doors down. He was driving to the gas station. He stops in front of my house. I was like, "What are you doing, dude?" He's got his front seat of his truck loaded up with those empty water bottles. I need gas for the generator, gas for the truck, filling up bottled water. He's all panicking. He's just finding out about it. I was like, "You motherfucker." I've been telling him for years. Oh yeah.
Last minute stuff. Get you every time, man. That's i.e. I refer to that as retail.
Yeah.
People who last minute FOMO. Oh my God, I need this. Oh, I need that. Oh, I need that.
But the funny thing was, I asked him if he had a water filter in. He ain't got shit, right? Nope. And I told him, well, the cool thing is, we've had the power go out plenty of times over the years, but the water from the tower still flows whether there's power or not. So we don't have a well or anything like that. So we'll be all right with water flow. But like I said, he doesn't even have a way to filter it. It doesn't stock up. And nobody wants to spend any money until FOMO. Just like DK was on Liberty and Finance, they wait till the last minute to go run around and buy shit.
Psychological. They've got a term for it. It's called retail, and it fits into lots of different definitions. I mean, there's actually a service out there Alhambra offers where they bring you by. Neighbor across the street has this service. She's got 5-gallon buckets of clean water that Alhambra keeps her stocked up on, and she's got a water dispenser to get it out of cold water, make tea. You have to start your oven to make tea because it's got hot water, it's got cold water, and it's cleaned water. And you got 25 gallons in buckets at all times that can get you through almost a month.
Yeah.
And
he talked about
he talked about
getting a generator, but he never did.
Getting a generator is a damn good idea, for especially people along the coastlines.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the cool part was a couple years ago, I got one that's combination gas and propane, so I can work two different deals. Uh, we got a propane grill if I need to whip it out after the storm to do extra cooking. I got an open pit. I got a fireplace. I can plug in the 240 stove into the generator and cook. And I mean, yeah, that's just multiple ways. But nobody
Yeah.
around here, most people don't. They don't want to spend any money. They didn't do it over the last couple of years. They're just lazy till the shit hits the fan, then they're gonna be
And until
squabbling.
too late.
I'm
Then they're
fucking hungry.
retail.
Right.
They FOMO. You get the
Yeah.
price gouging going. They suffer. They didn't have money to begin with. It's a commonality that repeats in history. One generator I got, I wasn't thinking like you. I had another thought process because I have on the roof I've got 11 solar panels, but they're directly hooked into the power company. So I got a generator that has a built-in inverter because I figured if the power goes out, why should I send the power to the power company? Why can't I enjoy that power? Just disconnect the wires and run it through the generator because it has a built-in inverter, and then plug my things straight into it. I won't get 24-hour power, but I won't have to turn the generator on to get the power during the daylight hours when the solar powers are actually creating energy. I can use direct solar power energy through that inverter generator to keep the refrigerator going, freezer going, and necessities, and then only crank it up at night if I need it for lights or whatever. And I actually got 8 solar powered light bulbs, so I don't need to plug in power for lights because I just put 2 of those light bulbs up. They last for like 8 hours. They'll brighten this room up as bright as it is right now, and they got little solar powered cells that you hook up and leave them outside for like 2 days. It fills it up. I got like 8 of those. So it's all about preparedness, knowing that life happens. Life happens.
That's right.
Power will go out. We're all complaining about infrastructure repair. Okay, are you a prepper because you're concerned about infrastructure repair? No. But if you get a generator because you're concerned about infrastructure repair, you're labeled a prepper. No, you've got common sense. You got common sense.
You'd think so down here. I mean, we haven't had a hurricane in a couple of years, but everybody knew one was coming. We thought maybe last year, but it don't matter if people, they don't want to spend any money to fucking idiots. So
next year's always better till it's not. Same it's whatever.
It's always funny.
Yep.
But hey, do you have access to my my X account?
I can. Let me see. Hold on. Let me. Okay. Okay. When I go on X, how would I get to people who I
follow? If you click on your face picture or something at the top left, it shows who you're following and then who you follow. Something like that.
Post, media, likes, highlights, replies, edit profile. Joined. Followers is what I hit?
Yeah, followers. Yeah.
Followers.
You're following me and I'm following you. Yeah.
I have more people following me than I have followers. Is that good?
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Then scroll through who you're following. You'll see mine, and then you can show them the pic of my anti-looter kit. Might be fun. People like Ruffles. Where's the chat?
Okay, now what is it? The wow.
Scroll through it.
Well, it's 20.
Yeah, keep scrolling down a little bit.
You the AK?
Yeah, that's it, baby.
You want that one? Okay. If I get a strike for this, I'm coming down there and I'm gonna pull the power out of your freaking wall.
That's okay, because I'm hoping for some other fuckers to try the same thing. When you try looting during a hurricane in Texas, there'll be no questions asked.
Hold on a second.
There you go.
Hold on. Let me see. Can I get that?
Couple stacks of D, 6-pack of fucking Paps, AK with a couple mags, a flashlight, couple packs of Marlboro lights, Charco. It's party time, brother.
That's it.
I'll be up all night tonight and all the way tomorrow, keeping an eye on shit. because when they know a hurricane's coming and the chances of power going out, that's when the thieves will start coming out looking at cars, trying to get into people's houses. They've been scoping out, houses and shit for people. It'd be fucking awesome. Maybe see me on the news.
What's up, Tully? Tully's in the house. Said hello to you.
Hey, Tully. I can switch back and see what's in the chat.
We got VK Travelogues, Gerald. Ian was here. You missed him by about 15 minutes.
Yeah, I saw him for a few minutes.
I was telling Tully she asked who else here. Oh. You got Chad, Wolf Schlegenheimer. Hold on, wait. Wolf Schlegensteinhausen Bergerdorf. Silverboy News.
Ain't nobody can spell that fucking name.
VK Travelogue, Seth. That's most of the people.
VK. Yeah, VK we see on Liberty and Finance all the time on Andy Tuesday.
One day I'll get Andy on the show.
Sweet.
I called Ninja, but he was busy. He's got shit he was doing with his son. Every so often on Sunday, he's got nothing to do. I get him to hop on.
Yeah, it's pretty nice outside when you get a breeze. We ain't had a breeze in months. you know the winds are coming. The trees are like, what the fuck? A breeze.
Right now, if you had a wind generator, even the smallest one, you'd be generating so much power right now.
That's okay. I got plenty.
That's why I'm a big fan.
Power.
I'm a big fan of wind generated power. Small, house size, not the big ones, not the turbine, not the big huge ones. Small little ones on houses.
Yeah, I'm sure the HOA would fucking love that. I run my Trump flag, my Bricks flag, and a windmill.
They've got ones now that are so quiet you can't hear them until you're about 5 foot away from them.
It don't matter. That fucking HOA bitch about anything.
That's the problem with most of everything going on right now is HOA won't allow it. That's why we don't have more wind power. Every HOA I've ever heard anyone talk about, it's been the same problem. HOA won't allow it. Looks ugly. It's too loud. What the hell?
Yeah, I wish I had my old phone because I had pictures. HOA would send me a letter about my grass, and I'd tell the lawn crew guys to beat it for a couple weeks. And I'd take a weed eater and I'd run some crazy lines in my front yard and leave it for about a month or two. All my neighbors are pissed. Looks like a fucking hayfield. They keep writing letters. We're gonna find you. You ain't doing shit. Yeah. The more you keep bitching, the more I can let this motherfucker grow. I just start laughing. I'll tell you a funny story. About 4 years ago, the HOA was doing a contest for Christmas lights, and I started laughing. And my kids were like, "Dad, are we gonna put Christmas lights outside?" I was like, "Fuck no, I ain't gonna put them up and spend all day taking them down." And anyway, so I went to Lowe's and bought a brand new bright orange extension cord, and I ran it right out of my front door, redneck style. And then on our Christmas tree, we had a half broken, old school shit looking bulbs. I just laid it right over my mailbox all day. Oh man, the neighbors went fucking bananas. The HOA is like, "Oh yeah, you can't do that." It's some funny shit. Almost sued them. They're like, "You have to take that down. You can't do that." Oh, yeah, that's my Christmas decorations. We're on a fixed income. That's some good shit right there. Looked like Charlie Brown Christmas. It was some funny shit. My neighbors were pissed.
That's funny.
Bright orange. It fucking stuck out like a sore thumb because we don't got snow, so look like shit.
So you're that
Eat
guy.
Shit. That's it, buddy. Eat shit, commies.
That's funny as hell.
Good stuff.
That's why one of many reasons why I want to move back down to Alabama. Not only is land cheap, and I'm going to get at least 10 plus acres, so that way people aren't close to me. But you have more freedoms down there. But then again, I am
plenty of freedom.
Someone who's lived in California, so Hell, if I moved to Iran, I might have more freedoms.
Yeah, we do good down here. I ain't got no issues. Even more freedoms at the ranch.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
So is it still what 8 o'clock in the mornings when they projected it to be over? So it should be okay for the work week.
No. They've already closed hospitals, canceled appointments, businesses. Yeah, so basically, from what I hear, about 11:30 or 12, it's supposed to hit the Houston coast, and then it's going to have heavy winds till it passes my county, which will be about 5 to 6 in the evening. So we're going to have a good old fucking 12 hours of, you know,
Heavy
60 to 80 mile an hour constant wind. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see tree limbs dropping, power lines for sure. People's shit. People leave their trash cans out. You can look around the neighborhood and you'll see shit getting all fucked up. And plus the rain. And then so every time they say 4 to 6 foot surge on at Galveston, it'll be way more fucking than that. And so I bet you this hurricane is going to be slow moving. It'll be every bit of 12 hours before it blows over us. I don't think it's going to move that fast. I've seen Cat 4s and 5s sit here for 2 days and just flood fucking Houston and wash all that nasty shit right out in the ocean. Yeah, this one ain't. If it ain't coming in fast, it ain't going to leave fast. I don't give a fuck what the news guy says.
Well, one good thing you got going for you is we got a heat wave we're sending from the West Coast inland, so that'll push it more eastward.
Yeah, that's what they claim. But like I said, I got to wait for it to go over my house. Looks like it's going to be like a right over us. That'll be great.
Hey, if you get the eye of the storm, it'll be cool. It'll be like hella windy and raining, and then it'll stop and it'll get dead silent. All the wind will stop. You won't have any breeze. You have about 15 minutes.
Eye of the storm.
Patience. Because after 15 minutes, it all starts all over again, and you got the other half of the storm to go through. I've experienced that a few times. It's kind of cool. It's kind of scary, kind of cool.
Yeah, well, the cool thing is we got big giant trees in our neighborhood, so people that aren't aware of it, when the hurricanes flow through Texas, all these trees will be bending over fucking 40 degrees from south to north, and you go through the eye of the storm, and then it starts blowing them from north to south. Yeah, and they start snapping these motherfuckers, dropping on houses and cars, and roads will be blocked. Fucking people be squealing like bitches.
That's where you make money if you have a chainsaw and a trailer.
Panic. So when I can, I'll film some videos. And I told Dutch, I told Dutch I'd send him one or two because he ain't never seen no fucking hurricane. I was like,
no, that's not a real.
This is only a Cat 1. Yeah,
that's a teaser.
Yeah, well, it could be a 1. It's a 1, but it could be a 2. But it's still going to be constant 75, 80 mile an hour winds. We'll see.
That's just a bad storm.
Yeah, for 12 hours.
Don't be a crybaby.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm gonna be watching my neighbors fucking panic. All these trucks and new cars getting smashed up.
Oh, they're gonna be big time crybabies.
Yeah, it'll be funny. I'll try and film what I can.
Right on.
Watch the panic after the storm leaves. We'll go drive around and you'll see fucking neighbors arguing, flooding. Yeah. Fights, fucking car wrecks, all kinds of shit.
I like driving after a storm, see who still has cars uncovered by trees or houses that don't have trees on top of them.
Yeah. Well, the funny part's all I gotta do is go to the Shell gas station by my house, and there'll be fights out there because the credit card machines will be shut down, and they'll be like cash only. They'll have a security guard or a cop, cash only. Oh, you ain't got no cash. Move over, motherfucker. There'll be people trying to bribe you to pay shit with their debit card, PayPal you fucking $100 for $50. They did that during the snowstorm. I just laughed. Ain't you ain't got no cash?
And people wonder why I always say cash is king.
Yeah, for a while until it ain't.
No matter how shitty our dollar is, Jake is living proof right now. Just said it. Stores will stop accepting everything except for cash.
Well, they have to. It's the only way of payment.
Exactly. Exactly. When all else fails, where do you go to? Cash.
For now.
For now, yeah. Well, until they come up with a hurricane-proof cashless system, which I don't see happening anytime this decade.
No, not anytime soon.
So cash will always be needed. And that's why I said in my video a long time ago, we will always have cash. People are like, oh, it's going away. We're going to have this. No. You don't understand. Shit happens. Only way you can do transactions is cash. We're watching it happen right now. And we'll see it many more times throughout the year. When we have bad earthquakes out here and everything's shut down and bridges are fucking collapsed from earthquakes, you know what they accept? Cash.
Yeah.
It happens every major weather event where it shuts down what we know. You better have cash. Tsunamis, earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes, have cash.
Yeah. I should jump in my car and go down to the gas station and film all the people going in and out. You'll notice everybody's open carry and packing. Today, the next couple of days. Oh yeah. Yeah, there'll be old ladies carrying around a double barrel fucking 10 gauge. Get out of my way, Sonny. I need some fucking liquor. Yeah, no shit. Go ahead, Granny.
That's funny. So you need to do that, Jake. Just sit there and film them. Send me the video. I'll post it. I swear I will.
Hey, that 12 gauge for sale? Yeah, everybody's going to be packing now. Anybody that had guns, they'll be breaking them out tonight, laying them near their bed or fucking the recliner or whatever. Yeah. Even the old lady across the street, she goes, I know I'll be able to sleep good tonight because I know Jake will be on patrol all night. No, you got that right. I got this neighborhood fucking covered, or at least my street. I live in a cul-de-sac, so I got it all covered.
That's kind of sort of how I am in my area. I got my block covered. I can't cover the whole thing, but I got the alley and I got the front street. That's all I can do. So that's what I do.
Yeah, that's all good. That AK is sighted at 50 meters. So
right on.
I can touch anybody. I can touch anybody in this area.
It's
buddy. Thieves.
Shotgun's about steam.
Yeah, see, I could post a picture of on Twitter standing on top of two guys. Hey, look, thieves.
Body count's rising.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens during the hurricanes. People also take revenge on neighbors or whatever, and they'll run around, gangbang or whatever. They'll kill people and just throw them out in the river or the lake, whatever, and nobody ever finds. Ain't no cops going to come out and investigate nothing. The cops ain't going to be here to help you if you have problems or, you run out of power. I mean, there's somebody going here to save you. You'd be on your own.
Hatfield and McCoy's.
Yeah. So people in the United States that think, cops will come. Yeah, try that during a hurricane. The cops are going to be home or stationed out. So
it didn't work out that well for Katrina victims, that's for sure.
No, it didn't. But we'll see. I'm pretty sure there'll be some flooding down Houston, whatever. But some of these little towns they don't do good with water. So we'll see how it works out. But I got phone numbers.
The western part of the state's going to get rain.
Well, nice. I thought so. Right. So when you first talked a few days ago, you said it hit Mexico, and yeah, of course it ticked up.
That's what I was thinking.
And yeah, well, I've been around, and I was thinking like, oh shit, no, it's going to tick up. But of course, it's going to go west of Houston, up around Katy. And it's going to take a hard 2 o'clock turn right over us. So yeah, direct hit. Here it comes. Heavy winds.
That sucks. I like it when the western part of Texas gets heavy rains.
Yeah, well, we've had some rain on and off the last couple of days, so ain't nobody crying about rain for their flowers and that bullshit. We're gonna get way more than they asked for.
You want to stop immigration for a day or two? Get a heavy rainstorm in western Texas.
Yeah, I was talking to Dutch earlier, and you realize how freaky it is when the clouds are moving from east to west. You never see that. Not in my town, you don't. You see them from east to west, you're going like, what the fuck? It's the devil.
That's the fucked up thing. When I was living on the East Coast, I was used to seeing the sunrise, and then I moved to the West Coast. I'm used to seeing the sunset. When I move back to the East Coast, it's gonna be weird for a while. I'll be like, damn, man, I can't see the sunset no more, except for over the Americas. It's not over the Pacific.
I'll tell you something weird. I got 4 neighbors that never have their outdoor porch light on, but they're on tonight. Yeah, they are. I just noticed that. That damn neighborhood's lit up. Yeah, everybody's got their porch
Lighting
lights
is the
on.
best thing to do at night to deter malicious activity.
Yeah, well, you can tell there's thieves, you know, because they've been driving by the last couple of weeks. You see cars. I mean, I know everybody in the street. You see these cars and people driving slow, and yeah, you don't live around here. And you know they're up to nothing because when they leave my street, they take a left, and that means you're going back into the neighborhood. Yeah, you ain't fucking lost. This whole neighborhood's been on GPS forever, so yeah, you're up to no good. That's all right. Big Jake's ready for you.
We need to get together a fund to get Jake a big old fucking old wooden rocking chair to sit out front that he can sit there with the shotgun, rocking back and forth, just looking at people as they drive by with the shotgun. Yeah, you're gonna be coming back. This is a cul-de-sac. Yeah, you're supposed to be here, you young whippersnapper.
Yeah, and the funny part is when they try and haul ass, there's only one way down that street.
Yep.
And it's about 175 yards to get down to the end of the street. So you got a long drive, a long straight drive to get away from me. And you ain't got a fast enough car.
It's one of those dead end fucking canyons.
It's a long drive to get out. And I ain't missing.
Like I said, it's a dead end canyon if you want to keep your car.
Yeah, and you got to take a right or a left. That's all right. If I got time, I might fire up the Land Rover and I'll chase them down. That'd be best to have a GoPro. That'd be badass. Throw that AK right up on the dash.
No. We are not advocating that. That makes you a predator and that makes you a felon. So we are not advocating.
Oh no, sir! Not during a hurricane. Not looters.
Yep. Nope. You are not allowed to chase them down. That makes you the predator. Laws at that point in time.
Yeah, I'll be good in this county.
Right on. I guess it depends on who you know.
Yeah, also depends on the county. This one ain't like Houston. These people stand up for people's rights in this county. All the judges are cool. Cops are cool as long as you're law abiding. Which I am.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good county.
I never actually, when I lived in Pensacola, I never knew any Pensacola city police. I knew all the sheriffs. The Escambia County sheriffs is the only people I ever dealt with. Never dealt with.
Yeah, none of the cops are going to be around. None of the cops are going to be around. I don't know. I could probably drive out in the neighborhood and go drive by the gas station, and the streets will look deserted.
It used not to be like that.
Oh, it won't be until the hurricane time. Everybody's staying at the house, most of them.
That's a good deal, Chad. I've been trying to encourage that in this neighborhood. More people with cameras, the better. Trying to get the alleyway loaded up with about 3 or 4 houses that have cameras.
I wish Jake was my neighbor. Yeah, Chad. I got you, brother. Yeah, I got plenty of tools. Well, all right. Well, I guess I'm gonna let you go.
Right on. Yeah, I'm gonna end the stream. It's been 3 hours.
Cool.
Thank you for helping out.
Sure. We'll see if we can find some videos to upload or put some stuff on X tomorrow or tonight or whatever. We'll see.
Right on. Look forward to seeing them. I'll talk to you later, brother.
All right, Neil. Have a good one.
Yeah, jamming frequency doesn't stop a bullet. Not that I advocate that, but if you have to, you have to. And that depends on the person who's stopping you from going about things in a more peaceful manner. They've already made that choice for you. So that gets taken out of your choice range. Your next choice is click, click. Anyhow, everybody be kind, helpful, and grateful. Buy some silver, some platinums, crystallized osmium. Have a great week up ahead. And thank you for showing up. And I will talk to everybody later. Good night.